Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode. Evan, what episode is this?
We should be on 93 tonight.
93. All right, so we're 7 away from 100. All right, we're going to figure out something to do for episode 100, Evan.
Yeah, definitely.
Figure that out.
Giveaway or something. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure something out. I don't know what. We'll do something though. We'll do something. We'll do something good. Let me go left to right here on my screen. Sean actually dropped out. He's going to jump back in though. He was having some internet issues, so he had to restart his modem and I guess his computer. But I got Jordan Fringe actually joined us tonight as a last second guest. Thanks for stopping by, Jordan.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then we have Evan. Of course, you just heard him. What's going on, Evan?
Not much.
And then we got Nate, Direct Feed Games, back with us. You did hit 10,000 subscribers, and you're kind of just still rolling along there. What's going on, man? I think he's muted, actually. Yeah, I think his mic's muted. I don't know if that's because maybe he's doing something. Yeah, maybe talking. Then we got OJ Player. What's going on, man?
What's up? If I would have known that Jordan was on, I totally wouldn't have shown up to it. But I mean, I'm blindsided by this.
You know, that's what I do. I just appear places and make people unhappy.
I know, like you just appear on my podcast all of a sudden.
It just happens.
Nobody asked you to come on the podcast. I mean, and then you're just there. So
you're not wrong.
Well, hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Is he Nate? Are you still muted, Nate?
He's unmuted now, but he might be just away.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. He'll stop back and he'll say something at some point in the conversation. That's fine. And Sean, like I said, Sean will probably just be dropping in at some point to talk about some games because he had actually never played New Super Mario Bros. I didn't know this, so I want to get his take on it because he never played it. So I'll ask him about that then. But I do know we were all playing Resident Evil, or at least most of us played it. Actually, Jordan, did you get a chance to play Resident Evil, the demo?
Not yet. When did it come out? Yesterday or the day before? Something like that?
The 11th, so I guess yesterday.
Okay,
yesterday.
No, I didn't have a chance to.
It's out on like everything too. You can get it on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Steam.
I'm probably gonna try it on the Xbox One X because I've seen some gameplay on there, and I mean I have a 4K TV hooked up to that, so I really want to see how good that game looks.
It looks good. It is actually really good looking. Like that is a game you definitely want to play on one of the Pro models, whether it's the X or the PS4 Pro or PC if you got like a really nice video card and everything. That game looks like you can tell they spent a lot of time on that game. It's been in development for a while, and you could tell when you look at it visually and like the presentation, it controls well too. It feels good. Good. I was enjoying my time. Did you get a chance to play it, OJ?
I did. I wanted to play it on stream, but I just didn't have time to kind of fit it in because I was just doing Smash and other stuff. So I actually downloaded it on my PS4 in the living room, and I played that, and I died, and I didn't get past it. And I played that, so I will play my Xbox. I can download it again because it's like the one shot, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna play it again on my Xbox One X. But yeah, I have played it on my PS4 out in my living room, and it does look amazing because the TV in my living room, that's the best 4K in terms of like how it looks. Right. That's the I mean, I got a new Samsung. It looks amazing on there, but it wasn't on the PS4 Pro. It was on just like a base PS4.
Okay. Yeah, it looks good on. You'll like it on the X. Check it out there. Check it on that monitor too. That 4K monitor.
Yes.
Get that good response time.
Yes, exactly. It felt. I mean, I'm used to playing the games on the monitor, so I mean, once I went to the monitor, it's hard to go back. So I was just like a little like, you know.
It does kind of ruin TVs. I'll admit that it does.
It completely ruins TVs. I took out my what was it, my Vision or whatever. I don't even remember the name of the TV that I had in here.
Right.
I took it out and put it inside my extra living room. Like that's how much like monitors ruin TVs for me.
Yeah. No, I really like it. Evan, you played it too, right?
Yeah, made it through the entire demo when it tells you eventually, you can't go any further from here. So it was pretty good. It was really good.
Yeah, it stops you. Yeah, you were saying the zombie variation was good.
Zombie variation, the pressure you get from them breaking into places and starting to kind of overtake areas was really fun.
Yeah, and if you're just kind of running by and one of them grabs you, it kind of goes in this whole like struggle where you're trying to fight them off and stuff. It's awesome. And did you stop for a minute and take your pistol and start shooting at different parts of the zombie?
Yeah, I tried that out on all the different types. It was really cool. And some of them, took like 6-7 bullets to go down. It was awesome.
But if you like shoot like at their arm, like I shot one of them in the hand and their whole hand like exploded off.
Yeah, they have
and he didn't have a hand anymore.
Yeah, they have that House of the Dead like explodey limb thing. It
was awesome. They like basically the zombies are like an indestructible environment. Basically, you just keep shooting and they'll just start falling apart. It was awesome. And there were a few that I shot once and that put them down, like right above like the eyes and like the forehead.
Yeah,
like,
I think there's definitely a critical spot because I hit one in the library like that and their head just exploded.
Oh, dude, it feels good. It's so cool to have Resident Evil 2 back like that. Like they definitely spent some time on this game, and it's I think it's going to make up. Like we were just talking about that before the podcast started, and Sean fell out. That it makes up for Resident Evil 6 for some people. So
Yikes.
it is that good though, Jordan. So far, we got to play the actual game, but the demo is.
6 and 7 for me at least.
I'll probably play it after the podcast. I'll download it.
Yeah, it's more. It's a faster pace than 7 by a good bit. Because I know OJ, you didn't like kind of the slower paced first person.
I didn't like the first person. I didn't like it. They should have just called it Resident Evil something else. But yeah, it definitely makes up for it from what I played. This is like back to actual Resident Evil, where you see the characters, you have that personality. That's what I like about Resident Evil. I've never felt that. Unless you're playing like Dead Aim or something like that, I've never felt like Resident Evil first person is like fun to me.
Do you guys think that this is a one-off remake? Like, if this does really well, do you think they're going to start remaking other Resident Evil games?
I bet they will. I bet they'll remake Nemesis. Nemesis, I guess, would be next, right?
If logically, right, it would be next. But do you think they would even do like a remake of 4, like in the graphical style and like control wise and all that?
I would like to see that just because I really liked 4, and they keep re-releasing 4, and I'm sure it actually sells well for them. Like it's going to release on the Switch. I bet you they'll sell, quite a bit. I'd be surprised if they get to. I don't know. How many copies of that do you think they'll sell on the Switch? Do you think they'll get 100,000 out of that copies?
Oh, they'll get more than 100,000.
So?
Yeah.
For them, that's a success. They're like, oh wow, we just ported this thing over and got 100,000 copies sold. All right,
Do you think they'll keep the options from the Wii version? Like you can play it like with the Joy-Cons and aim around. Because that'd be pretty cool.
They have that in Revelations. So
yeah, Sean played Revelations 2 a lot. Actually, so he'd probably be down for that. But BLZ8 says Resident Evil 2 looks great on the Pro. Hopefully, our E3 remake won't take 10 years to come out.
I just wanted to say, because like logically, what Jordan is saying, like what you guys are saying is all right, but then you have to remember the company that does this, and it's Capcom. So you have to remember this is Capcom, so it's hard to trust them with doing things logically. Going forward, it's just for me at least.
That's why this was so interesting, because this isn't normally what they would do. Like this, when you're playing it, you can tell they spent some money on putting this game together. Like it definitely took them a while to get it done, and it has a level of quality that like big budget games generally have, with like the little details and stuff. So it's interesting to see Capcom do that.
Do you think they're on an upswing now with what they're trying to do with their company, with like games like Monster Hunter and how they're treating it? Mega Man, how they're doing Resident Evil stuff now. I know there's like some issues with like downloadable content, I believe, with like Devil May Cry, but like that's still something they've gone back and they've kind of like retconned the last game to what people would want. Like, do you think this is like the start of Capcom kind of like trying to fix a lot of their perception?
I mean, they probably saw Bethesda slipping up. They probably saw these companies falling apart. Now they're just going in for the kill stroke ticket again.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I always see Capcom always does pretty high quality games. They just do certain little things to piss people off. Like when you're talking about Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry has microtransactions built into the upgrading system. The core upgrading system of the game has microtransactions, which is always a way that could potentially throttle consumers. If like, okay, you're not going to get as many orbs here because we just might want to nudge you to, to buy a microtransaction. So Capcom has always done little things like that that's going to piss people off, which is that's just Capcom style. We're going to see what they're going to do with this game. Resident Evil 7 had DLC released a week afterwards for $10. It's things like that Capcom does. So we'll see there's a couple weird things with Resident Evil 2, but they've always made pretty good games when it comes to. They always release the games early in the year, like in the first half of the year. So Resident Evil, it's looking great, and so is Devil May Cry. But we'll see going forward what else they do.
Yeah, they put microtransactions in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition too, if I remember right.
Yes, they did. They retconned them in after they weren't there from like the original release. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'll be picking up 5 though to see. I gotta see how bad those microtransactions are anyway. But I like the demo for 5 was good though. I like that demo.
I'm gonna be picking them up too.
It was good. It was good. What else has everyone been playing? I was kind of stalling for Sean to get back, but I don't know what happened to his internet. But what else has everyone been playing?
Played New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I got a review copy for that. It's New Super Mario Bros. U. I played with the Toadette. I played with Toadette.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. She's the easy mode in the game. So that was okay. And then I got Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition as well. Just started that. So
yeah, I started that up too. But I wanted to play the new Super Mario Bros. just to double check it. Yeah, it's basically it's the same game from the Wii U essentially with some little extra features. Like you said, the kind of the easier character, I guess. What's that? Toadette, I guess, would be considered easier.
Yeah, she's that because you can float super slow, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you can also do like her little hop thing, her little like she gets like air or whatever. She just does like this little huge arc when you press the R button. So yeah, she's definitely like more of an easier character.
She's the funky mode.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basic. Well, Nabbit might be that too. He might because like Nabbit is the
he's unhurtable, right?
Yeah, he can't get hit with anything. So Nabbit might be that. She's just like an easy mode type of character, but she's cool. And yeah, it's the same game. It's just that you just get the Super Luigi U. I tried out some of those levels. And that's the game I haven't beat that game yet. So I've beat some of it, but I haven't beat all of it. So I'll probably go through that one.
Yeah, it's the same game with Luigi U, right? Because it came with Luigi U, or no, it did and didn't back when it first released. It eventually they came out with a bundle that had Luigi U, right?
It came out as a standalone separately. Basically they released New Super Mario Bros. U, and then later in the 2013 they said the year of Luigi. Then they released basically the remixed harder levels of that, and it was a smaller game. It does not as many levels, and it was $30. And you could either download it and just have it right there on your game, or they released a standalone of it, a completely box standalone. So what they did, they just put those two games together.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, that was like $30. I think it was like $30 when it was released. So
yeah, I think Sean picked it up as well. I don't know if Nate, did you pick that up at all?
No.
I think a lot of people will bypass it, and I understand exactly why. Because when I started playing it, I was like, yeah, this is the same game. If you played it on the Wii U, to be honest, there's really no reason to pick it up. I don't see any reason to. I think the other problem with this game is it came out after we all had Mario Maker, and I think the fan-made levels are more creative than the levels that Nintendo has in this game. So I don't know. I was playing it, I was like, the Messenger and Celeste are better platformers than this, and those are cheaper. So I don't know. I was playing and I was like, yeah, that's fine. Back to Vesperia. I played like halfway through the game, and I was just kind of on cruise control for the entire time. Just going through the levels. I don't know. It wasn't very exciting when I was playing it. So I don't know if anyone else I don't know if Nate, if that's why you didn't pick it up, because you looked at it and you said, oh, yep, that's what I played.
That was part of it. It was mostly, I'm not going to play New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe with like a group of friends or anything. So the co-op aspect, which is probably its strongest attribute, is of no value to me. And to go through that game again solo is just going to be a drag. There's no difficulty. The level design is excellent. It's just the game with the ba music and the dancing Koopas. It's just I can't go through that for a second time. I can't.
The music, right? The music, yeah. The music it's aggravating. I just turned the music on. I was like, yeah, this isn't working. I'm just muting this thing. I thought the Messenger was better. So I don't know, I wasn't feeling it as much. I just picked it up, did some impressions on it. I've already moved on to Vesperia. But that's me. A lot of people were Nate, let me ask you this. What do you think about the $6 price tag for that game?
I can understand why it is $60, because it's going to sell 8 million copies with ease at $60. I would have liked it would have came in at $49.99. I know it's $10 difference, but at least it would have seemed like a value to those who already played it on the Wii U. And I know people are going to say, well, no one owned a Wii U. And you're right. The game sold 5.5 million copies on the Wii U, which is nothing.
I mean, that's almost half its install base, though, picked it up.
Yeah, it's just $60. It does seem high, but from a business standpoint, they're going to sell a lot of copies. They're going to make a lot of money. And it's mostly a new game for pretty much most people who are going to be picking it up because nobody owned a Wii U. So I get it. But for double dippers, it just seems kind of like you're not getting, there's no extra value to that price.
Right. No, I get that completely. Like I said, my thing was that there are better platformers out there for cheaper right now. But I guess if you want, what do you do? I mean, you want 2D Mario, you want to play it on your Switch. I mean, that's
it's your only option.
That's like what you do, right?
Yeah, if you want a 2D Mario, I mean, you're going to pick it up for $60. But I mean, there's a vastly superior 2D platformer from Nintendo on the Switch, and it's called Tropical Freeze.
Yes, yeah, Tropical Freeze is better. I will tell you that. That is a better game. I went back and played New Super Mario Bros. U, and I don't know. Maybe I don't remember it from, or maybe because it was back in, this game originally came out in what, 2013, 2012?
2012.
I feel like it feels like uninspired now. Maybe that's just because we've had the last, it
was
7 years or something. Maybe
I'm uninspired in 2012.
Was it? Okay.
It's the music and it's just the boring art style. There's nothing about the levels that really stand out and make you feel like you're part of a world. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze makes you feel as though you're part of that environment that each stage is set in. And New Super Mario Bros. U is just here's platforms in this generic stage and you just kind of are jumping on them.
Yeah, it was cool in 2005 when, it came to the DS first and it was like, oh, okay, that's a new way to play Mario. That's cool. And then they did it 4 times.
Yeah, on the DS it was cool because it was like, oh shit, here's a 2.5D Mario. They finally returned to like kind of the origins of the franchise. And then we got another one on the Wii. Then we got another one on the 3DS. Then we got another one on the Wii U. And they all are basically derivative of each other. And now we get it again on the Switch.
I liked it on
the Wii U.
I liked it on the Wii though. When that first came out on the Wii, I thought that was a fun game. Maybe it's because it was like the first time I had it on that console or whatever. But it was fun on there. It just I think maybe I'm just tired of it now on the Wii U, and then now it's over on the Switch.
I think if they just went with a new art style and actually energetic music, the New Super Mario Bros. U would be viewed as and remembered as a far better game than it is because the visual style and just that music really damper the experience, but the level design is excellent. So it's such a conundrum because you can see the game and say, wow, this could be excellent. But
yeah, I think I would have preferred like 3D World. I think I would have been more interested to see 3D World come over instead of New Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, I wish I just saw a new 2D Mario on Switch instead of seeing this.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much used to it at this point, right? Like just Wii U ports coming over. I mean, I don't even think this is gonna be the last one at this point. They probably got more already coming.
Do you think they'll try to like take notes of people's criticism comparing it? Because I've seen a lot of people compare it to like how Donkey Kong Country did it with how crazy their levels are and how beautiful the aesthetics are for each individual level. Do you think that they'll try to be like, here's new Super Mario Bros. And it's just completely every level is just insane and like they really go all out and make something special? Or do you think they'll just kind of keep passing along the same game kind of?
I'd like to see him do something like Nate, you're right. Like a new art style, I think would kind of energize that series. I mean, 2D Mario is like traditional Mario. They should really spend some time on that. I'd like to see him do that. Although, let's be real, do we need a new 2D Mario game if we get a new Mario Maker game?
No.
There you go. So I would prefer them to do Mario Maker because that's like infinite gameplay at that point, right? If you're connected to the internet and people are making actual good levels.
Well, that's the problem. People making actually good levels.
Yeah, but like let's say Nintendo actually treated that, like where they were picking out, community favorites and ones that are rated the highest and all that stuff, and they continuously did that, then you would always have new levels to like pick from them.
Yeah, I mean, if they went like the 3DS route, what they did with Mario Maker, where they offered, what was it 30? I think it was 30 staff-made stages. It was almost like a little self-contained single-player experience on the 3DS version, and it was awesome. Had some of the best 2D Mario stages. If they did that for like a Mario Maker 2, and then they highlighted the best, player-made stages of the week or the month, and you put like the top 30, and you just kept doing that type of cycle, then yeah, you're having, an endless 2D Mario game where you don't really need Nintendo probably to step up for at least until the next generation with their own new take on the genre.
Yeah, I would like to see. Obviously, I think a lot of people want a new Mario Maker at this point. So I hope that's what they're focusing on rather than build a whole nother 2D Mario right now. The Switch just makes sense with Mario Maker when they can get that done. Sean's back. Sean, what's up? What's up, man?
Man, I don't know. My internet it went out and then it didn't want to come back up, but it's up.
It is up. Cool. What's up? Hey, so very quickly, what do you think of the Resident Evil 2 demo?
Awesome, loved it. The herbs are too big.
And gone again.
The inventory. No, dude, they look like fucking house plants. Like I walked up to it, I was like, oh, this is a nice decoration. I'm like, wait, that's an herb now? Like it used to be so tiny. But yeah, but in the inventory management system is kind of weird. Like it feels like you have to, like we were talking off air, you have to press A like one too many times. Like it should just be pick it up, put it in the slot. Like I'm not sitting here trying to, make it's not like Resident Evil 4 where you actually have to play Tetris to make your shit work. If there's a slot, just throw it in there. But other than that, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Now I'm actually more excited for, the 25th when it comes out. That's not too far away either. That's not far at all. Less than 2 weeks actually now.
Yeah.
So I'm on that right away. That's gonna be cool. We were also talking about New Super Mario Bros. Sean, you told me that you had not played it before.
Yeah, this is my first time playing it. I'll probably have a video up tomorrow on it. It's not a bad game inherently. It still looks and plays pretty good, but it feels uninspired. Like, do I regret spending $60 on it? Maybe, like it's not as good. It's not as good as there, when you do games like, and not to knock 2D Mario games, but when you do games like Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 3D World, and of course Super Mario Odyssey, which is probably my favorite Mario game now of all time, it's kind of hard to go back to that simplistic, pretty stock type of game. And, they did so many of them on the DS, on the 3DS, on the Wii, on the Wii U. It's like, fuck, man, like try something different, but I understand it is an older game. So, it's not bad. Like, but I could have, if I didn't pick it up and buy it, like I would go on living. Like I wouldn't regret it.
No, like it's mechanically sound, obviously, but we were basically saying, Nate was mentioning change the art style for the next one, do something to change it up or shake it up a bit. So
yeah, it's just very, it's not very cohesive. It feels almost like it's just like random levels, thrown together and there's sort of, the overarching theme of it. But I don't know, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's kind of a middle of the road.
Do you think if they go with this is for you, Nate, you as well, and everyone, if they go with another 2D Mario, do you think they should have online play with it?
No.
Yeah. No.
I'm going with no.
I'm about that. That'd be more value, at least.
I think yes. I mean, if a game's gonna have multiplayer and it's gonna be similar, like why not? You have the stupid, Nintendo voice chat app. You can use that and do something with it.
Give it some terrible netcode so it drops in frames, the worst connection you have to the other players, and then you can actually slowly get up to where you need to go. It's great.
I mean, like, wouldn't the fun of the co-op in New Super Mario Bros. Is being there with the other person? It's you screwing with them. You jump on their head. You kill them in the pit. It's that fun of sitting next to the person playing it. Online, you lose that. It's big. If I'm playing with you right now, Sean, I kill you. Are you gonna be like, "Oh, you jerk"? I'm gonna say the ha 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 ha.
What?
That's not as fun as me like slapping the controller out of your hand as I get to like the flagpole.
I guess optional wouldn't be if it was optional, it wouldn't be a problem. I mean,
Yeah, we're not saying it would be like forced. At least, I mean, you have the option.
I don't think you'd play. I mean, input delay and lag would kill any type of enjoyment. And the enjoyment you have in the game, which platformers traditionally you don't see a lot of them online because of that. Because you need that precise, pinpoint control. So I mean, I don't think it's going to be something that people are going to like, oh my gosh, get all riled up about. Even if they did have it, I don't think it's going to be something that people are going to go crazy about, because the minute you die because you fall into a pit because of input delay or because of some lag or something like that, that's when you just like, well, screw this, I'll just play it offline. I mean,
you collect lives like it's water in that game too. So like you end up with a lot of lives in that game. So I'd probably just like, I died, I'll just take from one of my 50 something lives and we'll go again. We'll see. Like we were saying, Sean, if they're not gonna make, I guess, just a better 2D Mario game, just do Mario Maker and just focus on that.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, just focus heavily on that. Let the community build the levels. So we were also actually can't talk about that.
Yep.
Oh well, we're also I was also playing Travis Strikes Again, but that'll be
lucky.
That'll be a video for next week. And then I'm trying to get Evan to look at a game as well. What is that? It's an RPG.
Yeah, they haven't sent us the code yet.
We're getting it soon, I think. I was talking to him, so we should have it soon.
Tear into it today.
I actually have to double check what it's called. But Sean, you're playing Travis as well.
I am playing Travis as well.
Yeah, so we cannot talk about it, but we'll have videos on it.
I think it's pronounced Yik.
Yik. Why?
Yeah, a postmodern RPG.
Yes, that one. So that one we're working on as well. I wanted Evan's take on it. It looks interesting. It's actually a mature rated RPG that pulls from I actually noticed it pulled a little bit from Paper Mario because it has like those parts where you actually have to time out button presses and all that stuff.
There seems to be a lot of mini games in the combat, but the story seems to be more based in modern problems like people's suicide rates and stuff, like crazy things like that.
Yep. So that's going to be interesting. I want to see Evan's take on that one. That could be cool. I got some minor Earthbound vibes from it too. I don't know if that was just me.
No, they said that's what it is. Like they pulled inspiration from
okay. Cool.
That game's development is like old. That's like Wii U, like pre-Wii U or around that time. I remember it was supposed to be on the Wii U, but they just kept on delaying. I just lost them all interest because they just took way too long in releasing that game.
It's called Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K. Yeah.
Yeah.
Postmodern RPG. But yeah, I remember covering that game back in the day on my old website, like on the Wii U. Like, oh, it's coming. It's coming. And then it never came. And then I think it's almost here, right? Or still not released yet.
Oh, that's funny. I remember people freaking about Y2K back in the day. Oh, man. That's great. I talked to people on AOL message boards about that. I was like, I don't know if I'll see you guys next week, but if I don't, this is it.
I was sadistic. I was in front of my computer like, do it. Let's do it. Let's come on, something happen.
Oddly enough, my biggest memory of Y2K for some reason is still the Family Guy episode on it.
Really? I like this. The Simpsons episode was really good.
See, I didn't grow up watching The Simpsons. But all I do is remember. I just remember that episode of Family Guy so vividly. Just one of those memories you can't get out of your head.
That'll be interesting. I'll like see Evan's take on that. Let me we'll go through some super chats. Evan, if you got a Discord question, we can go through that now as well before we get to some of the topics. Yeah, go for it, man. And I'll go through some of these super chats here before we go through some of the topics. Some of them are in the title, and then we see others. What were you saying, Evan?
Well, because we have Sean here finally. This is for RGT. If you could pick 5 wrestling games to remaster and put on the Switch, which would you pick and why?
No Mercy.
No Mercy because it's great. WCW NWO Revenge because I love the roster. You
better say it. You better say it.
Fire Pro Returns probably. Which one?
Here Comes the Pain.
See, that was too arcadey for me.
It was fun. That was like one of the best wrestling games ever.
It was a fun fighting game. It wasn't a really good wrestling game.
Oh man.
You can like I actually prefer like actual wrestling, not just like here's a power bomb off a ladder and he's up in 2 seconds, you know?
That's
like
the best part.
See, that just bothered me. Tecmo World Wrestling on the NES, super underrated wrestling game. And Giant Graham 2000 on the Dreamcast.
Did you at least play Fire Pro Wrestling World?
No, I haven't gotten around to it yet.
See, and I'm not playing the real wrestling games over here.
Fire Pro Returns was like the peak of the series. Like I don't see how it could get much better. I feel, but I don't know. Maybe it does.
That one's pretty good. It's on Steam and PS4, I believe. Yeah, I mean, if you get on Steam, it doesn't need much to play it. Evan and I played it forever ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
crazy.
It was fun though. It's a cool little game. I'm surprised they were talking about bringing it to the Switch eventually, but I don't know whatever happened to that. I guess they didn't do it. Those are good picks though. As long as you said No Mercy, it's okay.
What about that game, like the W, like it was like the kind of like the arcade WWE like All Stars or whatever. I remember playing that game.
Oh man,
that was a fun game. That was a fun game because it was designed as an arcadey game. Yeah. So like WWE All Stars. I even like the fuck was it called? WrestleMania Legends, I think it was called, where it was like everyone was very over the top. And stuff like that. That was a good game too.
Yeah, see, those were too out there for me. I don't know. Those were like another level, but those like Blitz. You know, like kind of like Blitz NFL or whatever kind of levels of crazy.
Well, I mean, they were the NBA Jam of wrestling games.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's good.
NBA Jam's coming back, baby.
Yeah, man.
Wait, NBA Jam's coming back again?
This is arcade cabinet that's coming. That's at CES that we'll probably talk about soon. But yeah.
I thought you guys. Oh, okay. I was about to say. Interesting if it is.
Sean can tell us about that when we get to it because he was pretty excited for it.
Oh yeah.
Gibby says, I have Xbox One X and a PS4 Pro, and I can't decide what to play Kingdom Hearts 3 on. I want to play on PS4 since historically they've been PlayStation games, but the X has the specs. You guys ever feel this with certain series? Yes. Actually, I felt that with Final Fantasy 15, actually. I got it on the PS4 Pro, I guess. Even recently, I wanted to pick it up again because I only had it digitally, and I was like, I feel like I should just get on the Xbox One X because it should run better. But for some reason, I would attach that to PlayStation. So Kingdom Hearts, I'm gonna go on the X. I'm just I know it runs better. I've talked to people who've played it. They say it runs better on the X, so I'll get it on the X. I didn't really tie Kingdom Hearts to the PlayStation for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh.
I don't know why I never did. I don't know. Like, I look at it and I'm not like, I don't feel like I have to get it for the PlayStation.
I don't feel like I ever have to get anything for PlayStation. If there's a multi-platform release, if you have an Xbox One X and a PS4 Pro, it's probably going to run better or look better or whatever on the X. Most of the time it is. So, I mean, throw out the whole association that you have in your brain and just play it on the system. Since you have both, obviously you bought it for a reason, right? Like the X, you know that the X is a higher spec system, so just get it on your X.
Well, like even like first person shooters, I would only get on the Xbox because I like the controller layout better than the PlayStation's. Like PlayStation sticks are like I like the offset sticks that the Xbox has. So that's an example. But yeah, I do see that there is association with systems at times, but I don't really feel it for something like a Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever felt that, Sean, with any games, whether it's like if there's a game that's on all platforms and you feel the need to get it on like any one.
Well, I mean, kind of present day.
I mean, I get it. You're getting the stuff on the Switch, obviously, because of the portable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. At least makes sense. Yeah. Darius says, I just bought Vesperia before I left for work. It's my first Tales game. Wow, that's okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I think I started with Symphonia back on the GameCube.
That's the best one.
Yeah, I love that one.
Oh yeah, Vesperia is really good though. Vesperia is very good.
Vesperia is my favorite Tales game of all time. I mean, I've played a lot of. I've played most of the Tales games. Like I think I missed like the Tales of like all like the one like on the PS Vita or PSP or whatever, Hearts or R or whatever it's called. I haven't played like ones like that, but I've played all of the other ones like Berseria.
Yeah, and Berseria was all right. That's on the PlayStation Steam. So yeah, I mean, if you like it though, you can pretty much then just start jumping into other Tales games. Because they play very similarly, so you can.
Vesperia is my favorite though, so yeah, that's not a bad pick to be your first one. You know, that's not a bad pick at all. In my opinion.
When are they going to port the Symphonia games? Is the real question.
It's on Steam already, so wait, you know,
on PS3, it's on Steam, so
they should put it on the Switch so I could play it anywhere.
They might actually do that. You might, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that, to be honest.
Initial reports coming out from Japan is that it's doing really well, so I would think that they'd probably maybe do some more of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wishbone says I would rather buy the Spartan console than Madbox. I don't even know if honestly, I think the Madbox console has a better chance of coming out than the Spartan console.
Yeah, because there's actual money behind the Madbox. There's nothing but a dream behind Spartan.
You know, it would be funny if that Spartan system came out. I would actually order if it did, just to see what it is.
It never will.
Zane says, why don't people call Nintendo ninjas Nintenjas? Is that what that is? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Zane. You should coin that
alone.
You should trademark that and then sell it back to him. Hack the Movie says Sean Long is a liar with a single exclamation point.
You know who that is? That's Tony from Cinemassacre.
Okay. What's he talking about, Sean? He's supposed to make. Okay, remember my panel at Too Many Games, and he did the bubble bobble thing. Yes,
where he came up on the panel. That was supposed to be a video that's been in the works for like 2 years, where he secretly tries to kill me for raising the price of bubble bobble. And like he's such a lazy piece of shit that like he never got around to making it, and he's always like, "Oh, I'm still working on it. I'm gonna have my grandma say something bad about you." I'm like, "This is 2 years in the making. Like, what the fuck are you doing?"
So are we going to go another too many games where it's not done yet?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no faith in it being done by Too Many Games 2019. Maybe 2020, maybe.
Got it.
Because they're on that Final Fantasy 15 schedule. I see.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some of the topics. Activision and Bungie split. I think there was a lot of just an overwhelming amount of happiness online that day. Everyone was really excited and happy. What do you guys think though about Activision and Bungie splitting and Bungie keeping the rights to Destiny? That was the one that surprised me. It was cool to hear about that, but then to hear about them keeping, it's almost like I guess they bought the rights back out from like they bought it basically from Activision so they can keep it.
They had to.
Yeah. It's really interesting to hear about that Destiny or Bungie was able to do that. I mean, I have a strong feeling Activision just wasn't interested in doing anything more with Destiny because they kept saying it was underperforming and they weren't that interested. And apparently they were clashing a lot, Activision and Bungie, even before Destiny 1 came out, according to Kotaku. I saw this though, and I was really excited because Bungie was, I liked Bungie before they went with Activision. But what were your guys' thoughts on the whole situation? It was kind of out of nowhere too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's going to speak up, but I guess I talked about this on the PE podcast with OJ, but I'll kind of really condense it down because I spent a good portion. I don't want to like blabber on. But basically, I think this is a good split overall. I'm assuming that they paid a few million, maybe several million to get the rights to Destiny. I think that Activision was holding them back from making Destiny what they wanted it to be. I don't think they wanted to make a Destiny 2. I think they wanted to make one core game that they keep building upon. And I think now that they have the rights, they'll be able to fully expand on everything they wanted to do without making these chunks of the game taken out to be put as DLC. So actual DLC can be supported throughout the year as actual events. And then they got a huge funding. Was it Netscape? Someone
Netscape, NetEase.
Yeah.
I like Netscape though. It's a good one.
Someone gave them a bunch of money, and they're developing a different IP for that now with that money, which is going to be cool. So I'm excited to see Bungie on their own. Basically, I like what they've done before the Destiny era, and I want to see what else they can venture off into do.
Yes, it will be interesting to see that. Now they don't have Activision telling them to put microtransactions in like everything and keep making more and more DLC. But there's also the other side of the coin that now there's no scapegoat of Activision. So it is Bungie. If they mess up, that's Bungie messing up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of cautious optimism because not all the decisions for Destiny 2's releases, I feel, were on Activision telling them to do it. And there was a lot to Destiny 2 that did not like. So
yeah, because you actually played it for a bit, didn't you, Evan?
I played it heavily, yeah, up until the point where I wanted to play the competitive side of it and found out that they basically put on the PC version a way for someone to pay money to emulate their keyboard and mouse so they can get auto aim. And I was just like, oh, I'm not going to play this anymore.
That sounds like something that like I guess Bungie would have been in charge of.
Yeah, that sounds 100% Bungie, and they backed it up by saying it was a great way to add controllers into competitive. And I was like, okay, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about that. People were also wondering because Microsoft, like, do you see Phil Spencer jump in there right away when they announced that and was like, "Hey, can't wait to work with you guys again as an independent studio." Like, people were wondering if Microsoft.
I can't stand Phil Spencer.
I figured Microsoft would make some sort of attempt to
think they'll make a push.
Anyway.
Yeah, make a push.
I think Sony will as well, but I think Microsoft right now with their whole like we'll pay anything and give you unlimited funds type idea, that they're gonna, no matter what, if there is some sort of bid war to do anything with them, they'll be the outcome. Honestly, just give them Halo back. Get that out of 343's hands.
I would like to see that. If Bungie came back and was, solely responsible for Halo again, that would be amazing. I think sales would be up. I think people would be really excited for that. That would be really, really cool to see.
We can fix Halo.
I mean, I don't think they're interested in being purchased or bought out or anything right now because they have that large investment and they're building their own game right now with NetEase. So $100 million, I think that's enough to make a game. So
yeah, Destiny's budget was ridiculous. $500 million for the first Destiny game with marketing and all that. That's ridiculous. That's why they lost money. That's why Activision was upset. You spent too much money on it. Yeah,
I don't know how they I remember when that game first came out, people were wondering like, where did where did that money go exactly? Because the game isn't that like fleshed out or anything. You have to go online. Yeah. You have to go online to find out anything about the story. It's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Do you remember? Did you play the whole story for Destiny 1?
I didn't go online to read much of it, to be honest. I was like, wait, I have to open up my web browser while I'm playing the game.
But just like playing wise, like, did you complete the main campaign?
On Destiny 1, yeah, not on the C2. I didn't care about Destiny 2.
Do you remember, like, the biggest thing that like turned me off of Destiny, because like I played the first one a lot, but the thing with the story is like you meet these two characters that are going to be important to something, and then the next cutscene. I was playing this on a live stream back then, and then the next cutscene and the next story mission, the game ends, and I was like, what just happened? Like, this is the shortest campaign I've ever played. What were these characters even for? And then they released DLC later, which was just that cutout segment of the story, and I was like,
that's how they get you, man.
I was like, okay, that's some like Assassin's Creed 2. I think they did that in Assassin's Creed 2. There's 2 chapters missing, and they put them back there as DLC. But those weren't even important
as well.
That's so I hate that. I hate that so much. I mean, the campaign was short anyway, and then to just take out a whole story mission out, so stupid.
It was. It'll be interesting to see what Bungie does, though. I'll just be curious if they just keep quietly working on this. Do you think they do here's the real quick, do you think they do a Destiny 3, or do you think they just keep working on Destiny 2?
I think they should turn around and make an all like Destiny game. Like, here's the last version of Destiny, like here's Destiny 3 or whatever they call it, and then from here on out it's the perfected version. We go on from here, everything is updates. There's no Destiny 4, because I really feel they didn't want to make a Destiny 2. I think that was a forced decision from Activision.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
they wanted an MMO type game, and you know how MMOs work. You get a game and then a bunch of expansions. You don't have World of Warcraft 2, So I think that they should have, they should do it that way. Have one game and go from there. So hopefully they'll fix that. Yep.
No, I think you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, I think I would like to see them just kind of rip everything apart and come out, like you said, with just like a Destiny Infinite or something. I don't even know what you call
Destiny Complete or something.
Yeah. And that's it. It's out there.
Destiny Infinite. That's
Final Destiny.
Yeah.
Ooh, Final Destiny. I like that.
Final Fantasy was just Final Destiny. Well, that means there's going to be a ton of sequels, though.
Oh man.
Final Destiny 15 in 20 years.
GameStop. Did you guys see all the rumors going around about GameStop now? Apparently, there's a bidding war going on where companies are looking to buy them. Apollo. What's that?
I said I got 5 on it.
You got 5 on it. If you use your power-up card, it actually drops to about 4.
That's a deal.
It's interesting to see that 2 companies are actually interested in this company. Do you think so Apollo apparently owns Redbox.
Apollo is the company that likes to buy struggling companies to restructure them.
Who's the other one's like? Who's the other company? Sinclair.
With an S.
It's like Sinclair.
No, Sinclair's a TV company.
I just know Apollo because Apollo apparently is the most likely to actually buy them. Is what I'm hearing.
Let me see. I could look it up real quick.
There's a couple unnamed managers at some stores that I talked to the other day.
Sycamore Partners.
And apparently they're actually aware that this is happening. So it's very interesting to hear about that unnamed, anonymous GameStop managers are apparently aware of this. Like, they've sent out memos about this happening. So
I think Amazon should buy out all the GameStops and just turn them into like physical locations called A Games, and it has like all their like deals and stuff that you can actually go in store. Amazon's the richest. They'll just be like, yeah, snap their fingers, they buy them all.
I did think about that. I was like, what if Amazon bought them? Because for a little while they were unnamed. We heard about Sycamore, but we didn't hear about the other company, and now we hear about Apollo. Sycamore owns Hot Topic, and they deal with a lot of retail, so they know how to do retail really well. It was interesting to see. Okay, so Hot Topic on one side, and then like I was trying to like think of like tangible stores that these companies are involved with. So it's like Hot Topic, and then you got Redbox. It's like, well, at least they know what, I guess, kind of what they're doing. I mean, Redbox is at least decent. Like it's I see them everywhere, so I don't know how well they work, but Hot Topic actually expanded in our mall. So,
well, Redbox already has video games that they do, and apparently it's does well enough. I mean, they do movies and they do video games, so maybe they turn it into something like that. They turn, because like I don't think GameStop has movies, does it? So
GameStop it was funny. back in the day they had them, because I remember seeing that rack all the time, and eventually they were giving like 10 cents per DVD, and then they just took the DVDs over and they just jammed them onto like the shelves and didn't even care about them.
We did CDs too. Like you could trade in CDs and DVDs when the GameStop that I was assistant manager at first opened up, and someone traded in an Uncle Luke CD. And every morning when I would open up the store, I would play Uncle Luke Hydraulics like all the way loud, because it would just get me so hyped to like wake up, because I was on like an hour of sleep.
Yeah, I remember our little Blu-ray section.
Memberships? Is that what you wanted? Did you have to sell those memberships, pre-order those games?
Yeah, just that was the worst part. Well, that and some other things.
Well, here's the real question: how did they like? Why do they want GameStop if it's like dying? Like you've seen if you look at like their stocks, like over the last 5-10 years, even it's just been like seriously a big slope downward. Unless they really have plans or ideas, I wouldn't want GameStop right now.
I mean, it might just be related to them hoping to restructure it, because as we've been talking about before, GameStop looks like they're trying to restructure away from the physical games and more into just nerd culture with items. They could just be the hot topic of nerd things. So
that's true. That's a good point. Do you think they change it so they don't have all that junk in there? Like you don't have T-shirts and like pillows and backpacks.
Have you ever been in a Hot Topic?
Yeah, have you ever been in a Hot Topic? That is a Hot Topic.
But that's the thing. They already have a Hot Topic, so maybe they don't want that.
Yeah, but the Hot Topic focuses on music and other such things, whereas this could just be video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest downsell of like GameStop is why it's doing so bad is, business practices and how they can't figure out what they really want to do ever, and then the fact of the negative perception by almost everyone online constantly berating them. So I think that restructuring, that's the main thing. Like, okay, how can we make them think good about this place, and how can we have better business practices?
Oh, I like that idea by Mark. Just scrub the GameStop name and resurrect FuncoLand.
It's a good idea.
I'd go to FuncoLand. If FuncoLand came back, I would go there.
Wonder if the one near me would just pull the old sign out of storage and put it back up.
Dude, I love FuncoLand. Was awesome back in the day. I used to play Lion King on the Super Nintendo when I'd go by there, and then Goof Troop. I remember that was in the Super Nintendo one day. For some reason, I remember that. But that was awesome. FuncoLand was awesome back in the day. Yeah. What about Nate? What do you think? Do you think GameStop has a shot even if somebody buys them?
Yeah. I mean, I think they really just need a rebranding. They have to restructure the way they work. But physical media isn't going anywhere for a long time. It's still one of the biggest retailers for video games. I mean, people look to Amazon charts, but GameStop is still a huge percentage. So with the proper restructuring and rebranding, it's never going to be like the glory days, but it would still be a viable business.
Sean, you actually saw a newer age GameStop. What was that called again?
GameStop
Express?
No, GameStop. Pop Culture. That's what it calls. GameStop Pop Culture.
Sure. It looked more open in there. Like it didn't look all cluttered or anything when you had that, because you had that video showing it.
Yeah, my buddy was at the one of my Patreon people, but someone that I've known in real life for 10 plus years, was at the Mall of America in Minneapolis. And he was like, have you ever seen this? And he showed me a picture of it. And I was like, no, go get some video of the inside for it. I'll make a video on it. And like, it's weird because, some people were like, oh, well, it's just a GameStop, whatever. The pop culture thing isn't important to the name of it. But I actually found a picture from 2016 where it was just a standard GameStop. It didn't say anything about pop culture. And the pop culture is a part of the name of the store. And it's like a half Think Geek, half GameStop hybrid, but it's actually spread out, and there's actually like more stuff than normal. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because we looked into it when you saw that place and found out even in the UK they were opening stores under different names specifically for pop culture stuff anyway. So It seems like they're trying to make the move, or were, before getting sold.
Yeah, that would be. I think it'd be good to have a rebranding, but you got to change the way the store looks. The store just looks terrible. It just doesn't look great.
I mean, so many of them are the prototype, shoebox store where it's like it's long and narrow. So like there's not a whole hell of a lot of room to move around and walk in there. Like, and they bought EB Games, they bought Babbage's in the States, they bought out Rhino Games, they bought out all of their competition, and then they had all these damn stores that were the exact same sort of dimensions And so there's nothing. It feels more like a chore than an experience to go into a video game store. And, you know, back in the day, it wasn't like that. You'd go to the mall, you have GameStop there, you would have EB Games there, you have Babbage's there, you'd have Software, etc. there, you had Funko Land there, all in the same fucking mall. And it was like great. It was like awesome. What's this store doing that this store isn't doing? What are the prices on this versus this? And, you know, it's just like anything. It's just like any business, I feel. I think any business can be fixed and adapted to the modern age. But the problem is when there's no competition, the head honcho gets complacent. If there wasn't a Target, Walmart would have gotten complacent. You look at professional wrestling nowadays. The WWE has their lowest ratings of all time. It's because the talent isn't there. No, the talent's arguably as good as it's ever been. They're just complacent. They don't care. They just, you know, you just sit there and tread water. So without competition, you know, it just people get complacent.
Come on, we can put all the blame on Brock Lesnar. He's never there. He never puts the title on the line. So nobody watches Raw.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Because they're complacent, they don't care. If there was actual competition, you couldn't pull that shit. Because the other company, people would be tuning into the other company and giving the other company money.
I agree, because like back like with WCW and WWF, dude, those were like, in my opinion, with wrestling, those were like the best days. But
we need Sean, here's what you got to do. Okay, you got to start a wrestling podcast. Okay.
I don't see. I go in like phases where like for like a couple months I'll follow it really hardcore, and then I'll get kind of bored with it. And but there's a new company coming out that someone was just talking in the chat that actually looks, you know, it's not going to be, you know, a huge force right out of the gate, but the I think it's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars is the money behind it, and they're working on TV deals and shit. So I don't know, might end up being decent.
Also, it's Bork Laser for the early 2000 AOL people out there.
Yep, Bork Laser.
Yeah. Now, you should do that, Sean. That'd be interesting. We'll talk about that because you can just make fun of it then, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
See, I'd listen to that. I'd listen to that, Sean. Yeah, that would be good. You should do that. But let me go over to the Nintendo announcements here as well. Okay, before we do some super chats. And Evan, how many Discord questions do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 more. And
wow.
A couple of them are long. 6 more, actually.
Wow,
yeah.
We're popular this week. Hit me with another one.
Okay. For anyone that I guess bought it, did you get a refund from Soulja Boy yet?
I have not. No. I had to file a complaint with PayPal. I still have not gotten it back. So I was gonna send him a message and ask if I could shift it over to his sweet looking Vita that he announced today. No, I don't want that. No, I don't think he refunded anybody. Here's the thing. I also don't think he really sold any. So there you go. He didn't sell any. I don't think. I think he just was making it up. So there you go. But I'll see what I can do about getting it back, because I think I'm the only one who really bought it. I know Rich bought it. Review Tech. I don't know if anyone else bought it though. He had to do the same thing. He had to go through PayPal as well. So there's that. What's the next one, Sean?
Oh, you want? Okay. With all the Nintendo announcements through trailer drops and social media this week, what does everyone on the cast think about the chances there's still a Nintendo Direct presentation this month?
So this is
very, very high.
Oh gosh, here we go.
99%.
So we were gonna discuss this anyway when we got into the Nintendo announcements that were up next, and Nate, of course, jumping in with very high for the Nintendo. Okay, yeah, Nate.
We're 12 days into the month. I mean, it's a January Direct. There are lots of days remaining. I don't know why people are like, "Oh my god, it's on the first 10 days. It can't be a Direct." Final Fantasy was announced on Twitter.
Twitter Direct, my man.
I did see some people saying, I'm not to mention names, but I did see a video pop up that was like, well, Twitter was that Direct, and I'm like, oh, please stop.
Like, no, yeah, people are like, maybe they cut it from a Direct. No, maybe they just wanted to announce it on Twitter. It's amazing. Games can be announced outside of Nintendo Directs. Like, I don't get why people think like, oh my god, Yoshi wasn't in a Direct. Yeah, the announcement was Yoshi is coming out in 2 months. That really needed like 10 minutes of Direct time? No, it's on social media. It got dropped. It was talked about. It's done.
Yeah, I think people won't be as hectic about it when they do announce that there's a direct coming, you know, at whatever point they do that or decide to do that or whatever they do. That's when it'll happen. But for now, it's like a lot of trying to, it's like Charlie in the, in the mailroom trying to draw lines between everything right now, trying to figure out if there is going to be one. But yeah, I'm pretty confident there'll be some kind of Nintendo event this month. As I'm sure Nate is confident as well that there'll be some kind of Nintendo event this month.
Do you think that them closing the top floor of the Nintendo store in New York for a private event has anything to do with it? Like shooting something specific for a direct?
No, a direct was filmed months ago. They're not going to like that. Is
like
a wedding,
you know? Maybe like they're just like, hey, we're going to use the big screen here.
No, like the last time that they did that, it was like for like a mobile game. It was like for like Dragalia Lost or something. Or they've done that before. This isn't the first time that they've like closed off some section there. It's usually not for anything.
I was also trying to figure out if they would even do it this week coming up because Mortal Kombat 11 gets its reveal.
I mean, we also it could be this week coming up. I mean, as
Tuesday? I don't know, maybe.
Well, I mean, it could be a Tuesday, it could be a Wednesday. It doesn't have to be on a Thursday, as we just assume because that's the trend.
Yeah.
So, like, if it was this week, I wouldn't say it would be on Thursday because I don't think they're going to compete with Mortal Kombat because the press are going to be at the Mortal Kombat event, and trying to host a direct while the press are preoccupied would be Nintendo stupid. So I mean, it would either be the week after, or maybe it's January 31st. When they do their fiscal report, like when they do their investors meeting, they do it that earlier in that day, or maybe like the Wednesday before. And that way it's kind of like, oh yeah, we have stuff to detail for the upcoming for Q4.
Yeah, that could be a thing. You're right. I mean, there's still a lot of time left in January, so it's
we're not even halfway through.
Yes. Yeah, there's going to be we assume there's going to be some kind of Nintendo event this month, so I wouldn't get too crazy about it.
Nope. Right now, everyone just reset the clock for a direct.
Oh gosh.
I predicted on a video that I predicted the 17th or the 24th. So we'll see if that happens.
What do you know?
I'm gonna. He says the 24th. I'm gonna be crazy and say the 23rd.
Oh, you're going like the Price is Right method, right? Like the $1, like or the dollar above it, like 500, 501.
I think I'll say the 15th. That's Tuesday. No, it's Mortal Kombat's on the 17th. I think Nate, I think you're right. I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, there's also a direct today. Because I mean Mortal Kombat is gonna be a big thing that we're all gonna watch and see. And of course Nintendo has a stake in that game anyway. So I don't think they really feel like airing a direct. When is that? That's it. I think they reveal that. I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern.
The Mortal Kombat event?
I think it's 11 a.m. Pacific, yeah.
They're letting anyone in that shit. You see Doc Trey's going to that? Like, fuck.
Yeah, really? All you had to do is send the Mortal Kombat account like on Twitter. You just sent them like a DM like, I live in LA. They're like, you're invited.
Oh, I don't live in LA, but I'm
just kidding, by the way. I'm not talking shit. Doc Trey is fine.
Sounded like it. No.
I gotta bust his balls whenever I get a chance.
That's Thursday, yeah. I don't live in LA, so I can't do that. But
I literally kind of live in LA, and I don't want to go.
Really? Oh man, I go there. Those invitations look awesome.
Yeah,
I know they look cool. Don't feel like driving to LA, and I'm like right there.
I see. I would have flown there for that if they had told me.
Really? You would have flown all the way there?
You would have flown out just to be like, here's the reveal. You can go home and play a demo. Like, shit, I should have just stayed home.
I'm so used to crazy things happening in LA. I was like, oh my gosh, this happened in LA. I'm like, yeah, you can go.
Yeah, I've never been to California. And it's a write-off. I've never been to California and it's a write-off all at once.
Okay. Yeah.
Not wrong.
And I get to go see Mortal Kombat.
That's true. I guess I get what is it? I take for granted being close to LA and all the cool stuff that happens.
You're jaded. You're jaded. Yeah, I don't understand.
Passing up this chance to go play against Ed Boon. Come on.
I know. And then like E3 is like right there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like right there. I don't feel like going this year. Nope.
If I was that close at E3, I would go, but I wouldn't go to E3 if we're not like behind the scenes. And I think you need a lot of subscribers for that, or you got to be really in with a lot of the people.
Otherwise, you're in line all day.
Yeah,
to play like games. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd like to go there, but I'm not going there to sit in line and stuff. I'd want to be behind the scenes and like be able to walk between events and stuff, and actually talk to developers. And,
they've got like people just there, so they're in line, and you're like, man, on media, and it doesn't matter. Like they're just there, like so they need to organize it better for the media. You know, like that's one thing that E3 definitely needs to do. Like for just normal media, not I'm have 5 billion subscribers so I can get this access, but like for just normal media as well, they need to organize it way better.
Dude, at CES need 1 million subscribers to go. So yeah, that was a shame because there was some cool stuff at CES. So
bunch of cool stuff.
I wouldn't have minded. I would have liked to go there just to see. It was pretty neat. I'd like to go to CES one year just to see all the cool stuff, especially because this year, Sean, there's quite a bit of retro stuff there.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. So I don't know what people care about more, but I'll start with the Sega Nomad coming back, which is absolutely bizarre, but I mean, it's supposed to be $80 to $100. It has a region switch on it. The Sega Nomad, if you don't know what that is, was basically the Nintendo Switch before the Nintendo Switch. It was a portable Sega Genesis system that you could play on the go, and you could also hook it up to your television and play your Sega Genesis games via that.
How many batteries did that take?
Oh God, the batteries on it were atrocious.
That's if you had a battery pack for it.
Yeah.
It took like how many? It took a ton of double A's, didn't it? It took like 6 of them or something. Am I thinking right?
I want to say
batteries. I thought I had like one of those clips of D batteries on it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I never had a Nomad, so that's kind of why I want one.
My cousin had one, and it was really cool. He had a game. He was like a big Sega guy. He had like a Game Gear also. I just remember he got in trouble all the time for taking all the batteries in the house. And just he would take them, and then he would, when they were dead, he would then go put them back in the remote so that his dad would then go out. My uncle would go out and buy more batteries, thinking that the remote was just killing all these batteries.
Yeah, it was 6 double A's.
Yeah, it worked too. He kept getting batteries, and it took him like a month to figure out he was killing them with his. And the funny thing is, he had the adapter too. He just didn't feel like sitting next to the wall.
Well, I remember when I got my Game Gear. We were at my dad's father's. So technically granddad, but it's my stepdad, so I never really called the guy granddad. Anyways, we were at his cabin and in the mountains of North Carolina. And so I got the Game Gear and I'm like, fucking legit. I'm like, this is great. All right, I need batteries for it. There was only one store within like 15 miles of where we were staying, and it was this little cabin crap ass store at the bottom of the hill. So we went down there to get batteries, and they had those stupid batteries with the cat on them, like Ever Ready or something. That was the only batteries they had. No Duracell, no nothing. Ever Ready with the stupid cat on it was the only batteries they had. So I got all the batteries. I played it for like 45 minutes legit, and then it died. And I couldn't play it anymore the entire trip until we got home, and I had to, beg for a power adapter.
Man, that's funny. So it was like the Mr. Pibb equivalent of like Duracell.
I would say it was like Dr. Funky.
No, what's that cola that's like, it's like super
RC Cola.
Yeah, it's like RC Cola.
Yes, it is the RC Cola of batteries.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. RC Cola's not that bad. This sounds more like Fruit Stripe gum of batteries.
Fruit Stripe gum.
Fruit Stripe gum would lose its taste after 3 chews. Like 1, 2, 3, it was gone.
But those first few chews were amazing. It was like, wow, this is some fruity, awesome gum. Oh, it's gone.
Oh man, yeah, but there was we were originally talking about CES, Sean. How'd that happen?
Well, because we're talking about the Nomad.
The Nomad. There's a new Nomad apparently coming. We'll see if it actually launches. It's rumored at $80. Seems to have a decent screen to it. You can plug it in to charge it. Seems to have the same size and everything.
HD out as well, so you can hook it up to your television via the HDMI.
Let me pull up Castlemania Games here on Twitter, because you know what? They were there. They were taking pictures, right? Castlemania Ryan, he was taking all these pictures. There was some cool stuff. I think I can grab some screenshots of this stuff from his Twitter. There we go. Haha, I found it. All right, cool. We'll do that. And
also all the Saturn and Genesis controllers from Retrobit were there. There's some cool stuff from Hyperkin of all companies. Hyperkin is doing a cable that I think like 95% of retro gamers want to get their hands on, especially YouTubers, because it makes no fucking sense. But Hyperkin is basically doing a
I have the Nomad up on the screen, Sean.
Okay. Yeah, so the Nomad looks pretty cool. It's still in very early production though. Like that's not going to be the final model of it. That's just sort of proof of concept, I believe they said.
Takes actual cartridge right there. That's kind of cool.
HD out.
Yeah, it's a full HDMI port. That should give you a sense of scale for the size of this thing.
Some mini USB power for DC.
Yes, mini. Yep, it's like the micro. That's the one that most people use for like their phones and stuff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and PAL NTSC switch.
That's what all the clone consoles are using nowadays.
Yep. Looks good on the front though. Like, I mean, they got good button placement there, and then the D-pad looks to be a rolling D-pad. So, yeah, pretty cool for people who are looking to get back in. I guess just have a Nomad again without having to pay crazy amounts for what's essentially a battery killer. So pretty cool. What were you saying about the cable, Sean?
So Hyperkin is doing a plug and play HDMI cable for the GameCube, but it also works for the Super Nintendo, and most importantly, it works for the N64.
Yeah, I might be able to find it here. I might be able to find it here. Let me see. He was taking a lot of pictures, I thought.
No, that's not it.
Let me scroll down. Hold on, Castmania. I'm gonna find it.
There was like it was like in a product lineup.
Here we go.
Of different cables.
There it is. Got it. Go ahead, Sean. What was this? This is the HD TV cable for the GameCube N64. So this is going to let you plug in all of those systems to HDMI straight up with a cable, right?
It's got a converter box and everything.
Like I just want to see what it does. Like I could care, you know, Eon makes the GC HD adapter. There's so many ways to play your Super Nintendo on your HD television, whether it's via emulation, SNES Classic, or all these new clone systems and shit like that. But the N64 is still pretty much uncharted territory. I just want to see how it looks playing N64 games on an HD television via this device, because I mean, you know, the Retro Tank did a pretty decent job. I felt, you know, it cleaned it up. Is it going to be anything like that sort of quality? I don't know, but it'll be interesting.
Sean,
also, what kind of latency does it add? Because that doesn't look like it's a powered box for switching it over.
Right, that's the thing. Like, there's so many questions that I have about that.
You need the Ultra HDMI, Sean.
I know, I do.
That was awesome. The one I have for my 64 is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Oh, look, there's the whole lineup. Look at that. They have Dreamcast. I want this Xbox one really bad. The original Xbox one, Wii, and then there's GameCube ones. They have Dreamcast. I think I might have this one right now. I'm doing tests with this Dreamcast one. They have them for everything. I've heard good things about the original Xbox HDMI cable.
Yeah, that's the one that's better than the Pound cable, right?
I believe so. Yes, this is what is that? Panorama.
And I think it's the opposite. I think the Pound cable for Dreamcast is better than the Hyperkin one, from what I've heard. I could be wrong on that though.
Okay. And then they also had a Duck Hunt gun that actually works on flat screens.
Yep.
That's interesting to hear about that, right? There it is. There actually being played.
It's probably just a different type of lens pickup.
Somehow they got to work. And then those 64 controllers do work on the Switch apparently.
Oh, really?
Yep. So if you really want to do it, you can. There you go. I don't really know what you would do it.
God,
what you would use that for now?
Those look so weird.
Maybe someday in the far distant future, we'll have N64 games on the Switch, and there you go. There's a controller. Although Nintendo will probably release some crazy looking Joy-Cons for that. You know,
why are they playing Smash with those?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I wish I could tell. I don't know. That is a weird thing. Yes, there we go. All right. So cool. Yeah, that was CES for the retro side. Pretty cool stuff there. Castlemania, Ryan did a good job with that. It's Castlemania Games. Check him out there. I don't know if he's doing anything else there, but the shop they have is pretty cool, and I would check them out because that's where Sean and myself get a lot of our cool little retro stuff that we'll show off here on occasion from. Pretty cool stuff though. Very exciting. Maybe we'll see some of that stuff at like Too Many Games, Sean, as well.
Maybe.
Hopefully they bring that Nomad there. That'd be cool. I'd like to see that. Very cool. And then, so let me get back to the Nintendo announcements very quickly. Evan, you want to hit another Discord question before we do that?
Yeah, let me see if I got a not so long one.
Okay.
This one's kind of basic. Since Nintendo basically shot down Bowsette as a thing, is anyone kind of disappointed with that? And is there any character you would have liked to have seen with that crown power up?
No.
No.
Nintendo wiped that thing out quick, didn't they? They typed in, they typed that line up after seeing the internet too. They're like, we'll wipe this out real quick. Only Toadette can use it. That was it. That was funny. Like they didn't want Bouette. I just like they didn't type that. They didn't reveal that little, that little condition until like after the internet did everything they did with Bowsette. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, they're still gonna, do what they're doing with it, fan art and everything. Because it seemed a bit like a cop out by Nintendo with that. Matthew Hammond says, which franchise should Nintendo give to Bungie? I would say Metroid, but that's already being done by, we believe, Bandai Namco.
Shout outs to Matthew. He's the homie.
I don't know. Who else would Nintendo? What else would they give to? What would they like? Yeah, let's say Nintendo and Bungie work together. What would they give
F-Zero.
Bungie?
Take it.
F-Zero?
Make something. Yes, just something. It needs to be something that you don't think that they would do something different. Just give them F-Zero.
Devil World.
F-Zero.
Mad World 2.
Wait, Nintendo doesn't own the rights to that.
No, I said Devil World.
Oh, I thought you said Mad World.
I did. I said Mad World.
Look at that's us. That's Sega. Sega owns the rights to Mad World.
Semantics.
They should give them Geist.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Yeah.
Maybe Eternal Darkness then. If we're gonna go with Geist, Eternal Darkness or Geist, one of those two.
Here's what you do. Microsoft and Nintendo get together and they grab Bungie and they do an actual good remake of GoldenEye. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or if they just let them do something with Kid Icarus or something.
First person Kid Icarus.
The issue is I'm trying to think of like what they could do with, because Bungie obviously specializes in first person shooters.
You could do a first person VR Kid Icarus, make everyone throw up.
I kind of want Sakurai to do a Kid Icarus, like, because Uprising's amazing. If they can just make like a new Uprising 2 on the Switch, that'd be dope with Sakurai behind the helm.
Yeah, but like they could have like Bungie could like be like a contracted studio to work with them on it or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what they would give, but that's hard.
Yeah, they could bring back Marathon. Be brilliant.
Yeah,
they can revamp New Super Mario Bros.
I mean, now that Bungie is like technically an independent studio, free agent, yeah, you could have a company like a Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo show up and say, we want to fund this old game that you used to make. Let's do it. They could do that. You never know. Actually, one of these questions we're going to run up to here actually kind of reflects on that. Brian says, Destiny 3 as free-to-play like Warframe. Would they go the free-to-play route?
The game is already free-to-play.
Yeah. But like a true free-to-play, like people who spent $100 on Destiny 2, which is crazy to think about, because they like the collector's edition and all that stuff.
If you bought Spider-Man week 1 at Best Buy, it was free-to-play, baby.
I got an email at one point that was like, hey, download Destiny 2 and get it for free.
Please play Destiny 2.
No, but it is free though. I mean, like I got the game for free on PC.
Yeah. But like, you think they'd launch Destiny 3 as a free-to-play game straight up? Like, it's never a paid-for game. It's like a Warframe style thing.
I don't know if they'd ever do that. I don't know.
I think they have to. I think they'd probably want to bank on an instant return at first.
Yeah. I don't know, because I mean, it's just free to play is always great, but then like, or free to play is good, but it's like you have to really invest so much into and give so much away, kind of. Like Warframe is built over the course of however many years. Whereas I think Bungie and like their pedigree and what they want to do and like the investments that they are going to have coming in, I think they're going to want to do like a big release, and then maybe make it into something that can be later down the line. Maybe it goes free to play, but I think at starting out, they want to make whatever money they're going to make, because whatever they're going to do is always going to be like pretty grand, like big, right? For the most part, that's what Destiny or that's what Bungie does. So,
K19 threw $5 in and said, "Here's to buying GameStop." Thank you, K19. Sean, this is actually the question I was talking about with Bungie. Sean says, "Great SpawnCast. Would any of you be interested in seeing Bungie resurrect Oni?"
That's that PS2 third-person shooter, right?
Yep, it's also on Windows. It was also put on Windows as well, which is interesting.
I played that game back in the day.
Yeah, that was out like around the time I remember that the PlayStation 2 came out, right? Because it was like January 2001 is what it says.
Yeah, it was a really early PS2 game.
Yes, and I remember that, and I thought about that. I'm like, could they? Yeah, I mean, somebody could come to them and say, hey, or Bungie could pitch it to a company even and say, hey, would you like to fund us resurrecting this very old game? I would be curious how many people remember it. Like, more people remembered Fear Effect than I thought would remember it when they talked about that remake, but it kind of, the spinoff came and went. It wasn't a very good game anyway, the Fear Effect game. We're still waiting for the full remake. Do you think people would remember Oni?
Not as much. People remember Fear Effect because of the controversy behind the game. That's why a lot of people just remember Fear Effect. I mean, outside of people, people played it, but like there was always a huge controversy with that game because of the, what it entailed. So I'm not sure if people would remember it as much, but I mean, I remember it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really remembered Fear Effect for the game itself. It was the controversy in the ads. I remember seeing like an EGM, the ad would be like, this game comes with 9 climaxes and has the girls laying on top of each other. I didn't know what the game was, but I remember that ad.
Okay, yep, that's marketing at its finest right there. That's how they know it worked. You remember it to this day.
Oh god, I remember my mom saw that in the mag. She's like, "What climax are you talking about?" Yeah. I'm getting the game. I don't even have a PlayStation. Chill.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, man, there were some game ads back in the day, people. Let me tell you, it was something else back then.
Especially with Sega. Jesus Christ.
Even Nintendo was crazy.
Nintendo's were pretty crazy.
They were all crazy. They just didn't care. It was something else, man. It was something. Even like Atari was really funny with some of their stuff.
You see that ad for like a Nintendo 64 golf game? I saw the video this week. I forgot, it was some golf game, and a woman's in labor on the couch, and the guy's like, "Wait, I'm putting," and then he gets like a birdie, and then her water breaks, and it's just shooting amniotic fluid all over the guy's like living room, and she's sitting there, and then it's like the baby's born, and they're sitting and look at the camera like, "Yeah, golf." What? I swear, I'll send you the link, and you can broadcast it.
Did you see? There was a good commercial where I think it was for Yoshi's Island. And the guy keeps eating in the restaurant until he explodes and shoots like stomach acid all over everyone.
Yeah, that was gross.
Dude, it was weird back then. Even like Sony, when the PS3 came out, man, there were some weird commercials.
Sony hired a very specific guy to make those commercials who's known for making weird experimental things.
Baby. Yeah, the baby one where the baby was like in the room with it, and it was like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. Oh, it was weird.
The Sega Saturn Sanchio commercials and all that. Oh.
Those were just great. I don't know. Those were just awesome. Joe says, thoughts on Vesperia? It's good. I think it's a solid RPG that's going to take you a long time to beat, and I think everyone should buy it. It's a fun game. Tales of Vesperia on the 360 I really liked, but the Definitive Edition actually adds, from what I remember, quite a bit. But I don't think I'm actually going to get to that part until later on, where I know the Definitive Edition added a bunch of extra stuff. But I was going to buy it either way just because I really liked that game. And I was happy to see it go multi-platform to everything, so it gets a real shot. Because when it showed up on the 360, like, obviously Microsoft had some pull with that, obviously. But it wasn't going to do as well as it could have, I thought, on the 360. It's cool to see it go everywhere, though.
Them doing this is definitely the way for I don't think the Tales franchise is popular enough to do these weirdo, we do PlayStation 4 this time. Oh, then later it comes out on the PC. And then like, it's like, I don't think the franchise is popular enough to do that. And they had an interview the other day saying this is the start of them going multi-platform, and it should have always been that way. But the Tales games, if you look at them, they're all like segmented and on this platform and only on this platform, and like only one on like the PSP, or we're bringing back one on the DS, like Tales of, the first Tales game or whatever, like it was, or the 3DS that they did. So I mean, I think it's just good. Just get it out on all the platforms. Stop trying to do these weird, because they're not making any exclusive. I mean, Tales of Vesperia, they had a deal with Microsoft, but a lot of the newer Tales games, there's no deal with Sony. They're just doing it just because, Well, so
I wonder how much of the problems is their production pipeline. Like they might just be designing it around one system, and then as it's finished, they're like, let's just get it there, and then we'll try to figure it out for everything.
They don't even figure it out for the rest of the systems. So like a lot of the Tales games, like Berseria, still isn't on Xbox or anything else.
Yeah, I'm not saying they have to do it, but like they'll eventually think about it at one point.
Vesperia, the new one, has updated full HD graphics, brand new music tracks, exciting mini games, bosses, and a collection of unreleased costume DLC. And they also have 2 more playable characters.
Yes, Pirate Girl and Flynn.
Yep. So they added some extra stuff there. It's not just like a straight re-release. It's good. If you missed it because it was on the 360 or whatnot, yeah, it's pretty cool. I would go check it out. I think it's worth the money. It's a longer game from I remember too. I'm trying to remember how long, because I beat it on the 360, and I remember that I remember spending most of the summer playing it.
I spent 80 hours in that game, but that was also doing some other things on my first playthrough. I remember vividly. I played it when I was in college. And yeah, I spent 80 hours on it the first time. This one, if you do everything in this version of the game, it's probably going to take you more than that.
Yeah, it says average play time says to be about 51 hours just for the main story, and then generally for completionists it says 180 hours.
I leveled up to max level though, so
yeah, so it's gonna be it's a game that's gonna take you a while. So but it's not like a typical RPG. It's kind of like an action RPG as well. So it's fun though. It's fun. I think it's worth checking out. And
if you have a buddy, you can play multiplayer if you have a buddy.
Four player multiplayer.
Yep.
4-player. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, if you have people over, it's one of those RPGs where you actually play with other people, which is something that Tales series did well. I remember it with Symphony on the GameCube. We did that as well. We played a bunch of people playing it, so it was pretty cool. You know, it was neat. It was neat. And then I also had Riku Key says, think GameStop is spending a lot of their money on paying for GameStop exclusive pre-orders like they did with Spider-Man and Kingdom Hearts consoles. I think GameStop feels like they have to do that because they're competing so much with like Amazon and stuff, but I wonder if they really get that good of a return on that kind of stuff. Like buying out like exclusives or pre-orders. I mean, even like Best Buy sometimes does that. But like I do wonder if these companies actually get that much out of that. I don't know. I feel like they're probably spending more money than they should on that, to be honest, but there is a lot of, I think, mismanagement just at GameStop in general, Riku Key. Comes down to, I think the store layout's the worst thing ever. So, Agent Quato says, "Where's my Mario Kart Tour Direct?" is the real question. Plus Skyward Sword HD, baby. Yeah, what did happen to that Mario Kart Tour?
I mean, they still got 2 months.
Yeah, that's true. We're supposed to have it released or something in this fiscal year, aren't we?
Yeah, they're probably waiting until after the investors meeting on the 31st.
That could be something that they even released or announced right before the investors meeting, because they're probably going to be asked about it. Because let's be real, it's a mobile game. Investors like mobile games. Where's this mobile game? When are we going to make money from that mobile game that has Mario on it? They might even announce it prior to that, leading up to it. I could see that. You're right, Nate. It's going to come out in the next 2 months at least, but I'm just curious about the mechanics for it. I want to see how they're going to monetize it and what they're going to give us exactly with it. So that'll be interesting. And then Just a Hair says, listening while playing Civilization 6. Love the show. Thank you, Just a Hair. We appreciate it. PlayStation 4 sales. CES, they also announced how many PlayStation 4 consoles. It was north of 91 million, which is it's quite a bit.
91.6 million.
Yes, 91.6 million. So they're heading up to there. That's actually sold through. That's not even shipped. Well, when we'll hear shipped is when they actually ship 100 million units, because then their lingo will change very quickly to ship from sold through, because they'll announce that as soon as they can, probably. So that'll be a big milestone. Obviously, we've shipped 100 million PlayStation 4s. That's going to happen probably. I mean, that's probably going to happen in the first half. Maybe the first half. Maybe by... because they've probably already shipped like 93 million or 94 million at this point, right?
By E3, definitely.
Yeah, I could see them trying to get into E3 with that 100 million marker, although they're not going to be at E3. But wouldn't it be funny if they announced right before E3 that they did, we sold 100 million, no big deal. We're not going to E3 or anything, but sold 100 million systems, that's all, or shipped them. But I think it's going to be like halfway through the year though that they'll announce that. And then Spider-Man did 9 million. By November 25th, so we don't even know about the holiday numbers for it.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's just pretty good numbers for a single player style game like that. Despite EA and Activision again saying that there's no market for that.
Yeah, single player is totally dead.
Yes, no single player. We didn't watch Mario Odyssey and Zelda cross 10 million, and Spider-Man's probably past 10 million at this point. I don't know whatever happened to God of War. Did that we didn't hear anything for that, did we?
Just outside of the original, the base 3 million or whatever.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything else about that, did we?
I think what happened. For some reason, the game just got discounted kind of quickly afterwards, and then Spider-Man kind of came and then just kind of took the wind of sales out from it. Not that I think it still did really well though. I mean, I think they're still going to announce at some point it sold like 7 million or something. Yeah, like something good. It's just, but the game was discounted fairly.
I wonder if they'll do a Game of the Year thing too for it. What were you saying, Nate? Go ahead.
Hopefully, I mean, it's because Kratos doesn't jump, so his sales are grounded.
I knew that was coming.
Oh man. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I wonder if they'll do I was wondering if they'll do a Game of the Year thing for God of War, because it did technically win Game of the Year, whether it's a new box art or something for it, or maybe they'll add extra content to it. Spider-Man definitely became more popular though as the year went on. I'll admit that. And then of course it's a teen-rated game, so it's a bit easier to sell, and
it's exactly the reason why Sony does teen. I mean, and the reason why games like Uncharted 4, did so well even afterwards, because 12-year-old can go buy the game.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, this is something that I've ran into when I was younger. If the game was mature, I'm like, oh, God, I gotta ask my parents to get it. When you're in 12, 13 or whatever, you still got to do it. Sometimes your parents can take you there. Sometimes you just don't get a game because of the chance opportunity. Like a week might go by, they can't take you, whatever, work on weekends, and all of a sudden the next game is already out, and you might have moved on to something else when you're that young, when you're that age. So I know that happened to me a lot of times where my parents couldn't take me. I didn't feel like riding my skateboard all the way over there. Oh, well. I mean, I'll also admit, if I was like 12 or 13 and there was God of War or Spider-Man on the shelf in front of me, I'd probably grab Spider-Man. Yeah, well, yeah. It has Marvel on the front, so it helps. I think one of the things I thought about was, I think the big test for these single-player games are the new IPs, like something like Ghost of Tsushima, to see how that sells, because we believe that's coming out this year in 2019. Like, I think a lot of these big hitters are going to come out for Sony in 2019, because 2020 is probably going to be that push to the next generation. So, like, is Ghost of Tsushima going to sell well? Because again, EA is still probably looking at this landscape, and that's probably what they're thinking. They're like, but it's Marvel, and it's God of War. Those are known ones. What about a new IP? Because like they still sold like when Destiny came out, that still sold pretty well when it first launched. Not Ghost of Tsushima or I can't even throw Last of Us 2 in there because that's known. Like, that's going to sell well because it's known. Oh yeah, that's gonna sell really well. I guess Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, how do you think Ghost of Tsushima sells? I'm actually interested in it, and I'm gonna buy it, but I'm curious how it's actually gonna do on the sales charts. It's tough to say right now, just because I think we need to know a little bit more about the structure and how it's gonna work and everything. Yeah, that's a good point. Like visually, it looks great, but then we gotta think about what is the game? How does it control? How does it play? And they don't have any. They're not going to E3, so like. Are they going to have their own PlayStation experience earlier in the year or something, like soon? I don't know. There's certain things I can't say about a couple other games in the industry that is like private information right now. But there's a lot riding on to see if the themes of Ghost of Tsushima, like if it does well, like that era and like that kind of gameplay in that style. So if it does well, that could be possibly a new trend for certain game franchises to follow. But we also got Sekiro also. That'll be an interesting one to see how that goes as well. To see if that can kind of, although that has a bit of a cult following already because it's from Software. You can pause it. I like how that was a big article about it. You can actually pause this. I mean, if you play Dark Souls, yeah. It's like, I thought that was hilarious. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I said, okay. Now we're talking. That's my kind of game. I was watching the gameplay, and I'm actually pretty excited for that one. That one looks fun. That's good. Like that game, Dark Souls doesn't respect people with kids. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've got kids, like you've got to be able to pause a game. And like when I was younger in college, like I don't need to pause for anything when I was in college. But at this point, you need to be able to pause a game. I don't care how edgy or hardcore you're trying to be. There's got to be a pause button in the game, dude. I hate when games like pause menus, the game's still running in the background. It's just like a menu. I hate that so much. Like, don't even put it in there then. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. Can't stand that. Like, you got to have a pause button in a game. That's ridiculous. Yeah, like I was playing online with Smash and I hit pause and nothing happened. No, the lag will do that for you. Oh man. That's great. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro. I think those would be really fun. But Sekiro is looking good, although Activision's still on there. I don't know. I don't trust it yet. Yeah, I gotta see it first. I mean, we saw Activision do some interesting, like Spyro. That was good, but like, I don't know, man. I don't trust them yet. I don't trust them. I got to get the game in my hands. I got to be playing it and be like, all right, I don't see any way to buy anything extra here. We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Hey, don't count your chickens yet.
Yeah, really. Evan, you want to hit us with another Discord question?
Let's see. We have one. He's basically saying, with streaming services becoming a thing, how do you think this is going to affect the indie game market?
Ooh, that was another topic we can get into with that. How will it affect the indie market? I don't think it'll.
Well, he's talked about the companies that tend to make the most money off of streaming services are the ones that actually produce the games. The people going into it on the side don't really see as much return about it. And he was also talking about, even though people hope that you'd still buy the physical copies, at least with the music industry, that didn't exactly occur after streaming became a thing.
That's a good point. Are you talking about, like, you're talking about game streaming like we've been talking about before with like how Amazon's getting into it?
Yeah, everyone's splitting up now at this point. Ubisoft has their thing. Epic's trying to get their own store together. Eventually, they might move to something. Who knows?
Yeah, because we even have like reports of Verizon trying to do game streaming now. Amazon apparently is jumping in next year. Google's doing it. Microsoft's doing it. I'm trying to think of how well that would work. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like it'll work well for a lot of games just because if this can actually latch on and it's good, that's the big problem. It is good. You don't need a console to play a game then.
No, yeah, the benefit to us is there. It's just, will it limit what we're seeing?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. That's the biggest problem I have about game streaming right now. It's such an unknown still, which is crazy. Like, we've been talking about game streaming. We've had game streaming forever, but it's such an unknown still.
And video streaming's been around longer, and we're already seeing like Disney basically pulling out of Netflix just because they want to start their own streaming service. What if it becomes tribal like that?
And then you end up, you know what's going to end up happening? This is something with just TV streaming in general, the whole cut the cord movement. But now, like, in order to get, specific channels you want, you got to get this bundle with this thing. And it just ends up almost being the same fucking price. It's like, how did we go in a complete circle?
Yep, that's the problem I had with like if you have like Comcast or anything, they'll be like, oh, which bundle do you want? And there's like 20 bundles with this channel's here, but I want that channel, but it's over in that bundle. But no, I got to get this. But it's all over the place, and that's what's going to be like. We're going to have like 10 or 12 different subscription services, and they're all $10 a piece or something.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, It's like
the plan the whole time.
Yeah, I don't. It's going to be. There probably will be a bubble that bursts there, and I think competition will push some of these companies out, but like Amazon is too big to probably just fall out of it, I think. I'm trying to think of who would. Maybe Verizon would give up on it if it doesn't go well for them, but they have so many systems already out there with mobile phones and people already using their service anyway. It's going to be, man, the game streaming wars are going to be interesting.
And it's back to the point of the question, what do we think it's going to do to indie games? Because will it limit their income? Will they not have as much access to being able to put their stuff out there? Like,
it's going to come down to how they treat them. Like, I feel like because we see how Epic's signing like indie games now, it's weird. They're signing them and they're putting them on the front of their store. Like, what was it? Ashen or Below? One of those.
But that's causing problems because some of those companies said they were releasing on other services, and now they're only releasing on that for a little bit or something. That's the thing about indie developers. Money is very influential to indie developers because they need it, and they are more prone to obviously taking deals because either your studio's open or it's not. They need money, so it's I feel like a lot of them will get signed and moved around and stuff. That might end up happening. Yeah, there's still the companies though that come together from like a dream and passion, and then they make a game and then release it without any prerequisite stuff. It's usually the one guy who's working 2 jobs and programming at the same time, and then we get these amazing games from those people. But
that's true. But we just saw Which Game is going through all kinds of problems, and it looks awesome. Like Last Night, I think is what it's called.
You see that? Fuck that game.
But did you see the trailer at but you saw the trailer, right? Like if you just separate everything behind the game and then you look at that trailer, it looks different enough to be interesting, right? Like separate the stuff that's going on with it, right? Like look at it and be like, that game looks cool. Nate's not hearing it.
What's this game called? What is it?
Look up the trailer for it. I think it looks awesome, but it's gone through
it's called The Last Night.
Issues.
Microsoft highlighted it at their E3 conference.
Highlighted E3.
Oh yeah, this was that friggin' Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like semi-animated, but still kind of 3D. Yeah, I remember them dropping that trailer. I fell in love with the game immediately, but like
it looked cool.
The side stuff.
There's so much stuff in the background on that. Like, I like. Of course, it's a game that I looked at when I first showed it, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And it's like
it's no Untitled Goose Game.
Oh man,
okay, I see the type of style that it is here.
Yeah, like it looked different. That's what it caught my eye right away. I'm like, okay, this looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, this game.
Yeah,
remind me of Blade Runner.
Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, all right, that's going to be something. And here we are now where apparently it's not going to be something. Unless there might be a company that steps in to get it done because it looks like it'll at least stand out from other games. But there's some bad stuff going on in the background of that game right now that has nothing to do with even just like developing a game. So that's a shame. But that's kind of what happens with any games though. Like it looks great at first and then all this stuff crops up, drama and like all kinds of stuff pops up behind it that can affect it. So it's not like, Gearbox or anything.
Oh, was that in the news this week or no?
Yeah,
was there some stuff in the news with that? Or,
oh man, it was gonna be asked anyway at some point. Yeah, Randy Pitchford. Randy Pitchford. He's I saw Jordan take that framed Borderlands 2 off the
That's
wall.
a crazy story. So I made this video where I'm just like going, God damn it, because I walk over because I've had this is the one thing I've always said if I had a fire that I would save because it meant so much to me. I have a framed copy of Borderlands 2 signed by Randy Pitcher that says, "Hey Jordan, like game on." And then so the story is I was working at GameStop at the time, right after Borderlands 2 came out. And funny enough, a friend of Randy Pitchford's who lived in my area came to the store and he saw my Borderlands tattoo. Started talking about Borderlands. He said, "Yeah, Randy Pitchford's like my childhood friend. I'll get you in contact with him." And then I got a care package full of like a bunch of awesome stuff, a signed copy of the game, like a bunch of swag, because that's how he likes to, deal with stuff, get his USB drive back by giving.
Yeah, maybe he was luring you in, man. How old were you at the time?
I was over 18. So I was barely legal. So maybe I was his type. But it sucks because
Jesus.
But I even though he's done shady stuff, he's someone like I've always like enjoyed following because I've seen some passion there. But now hearing all the other stuff, it's kind of sad because it sucks. If whatever's true, whatever, it sucks. I just don't want this to affect Borderlands 3. We're so close to that announcement. Like it's supposed to happen within the next few months, the announcement of it. And why, Randy? Why you got to be a weirdo?
Well, it's all alleged still, obviously.
Alleged.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the other stuff.
There's some lawsuits going on, and I mean, if the man likes 18-year-old girls and the man likes 18-year-old
nothing wrong with that. It's the other potential stuff. That is the thing. Yeah. Hey, don't put that kind of stuff on a flash drive and bring it to medieval times. That's kind of weird.
I'm definitely not. I'm not endorsing what he did. So I want to make clear that I'm not endorsing.
OJ, are you in?
I'm not. Before OJ likes to endorse people, these scumbags. No, I'm not doing. I'm not.
Yeah, it's all apparently it's in the lawsuit. People can read it. It's probably not worth mentioning because it's not even proven yet. It is there's some serious accusations in there. So
but the person who's accusing him's also done shady stuff. It's just a yelling match between two ex-friends who kind of screwed each other over different things. Basically,
that's the thing. You can, people might get mad, and I mean, there's $12 million involved. So, people can get mad enough to start accusing and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely, there's lawsuits going on.
I'm gonna
put out a statement on Twitter. So
yeah, I'm gonna leave it to the lawyers. But the thing that is going on right now is that apparently he gave himself an advanced I guess just bonus of $12 million from the company.
There was a lot banking on Borderlands 2 to be successful with an advance of $12 million extra dollars. So that's why they siphoned funds out of the Alien game to make Borderlands so perfect at launch, as perfect as they can make it. But that extra $12 million they got because the game did well, was kind of funneled and embezzled right into, Randy's personal accounts is basically the issue. And the issue with the lawyer is that he took personal and company money to use on like vacations and other stuff and then never paid it back. And then that's why there was a falling out on that side. And those are the two biggest issues of each of them.
Yeah, he's been around the news a lot anyway over the past like what 5-10 years or whatnot. Like he's on obviously YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube personalities that do not like the man at all.
Yeah, I can understand why. But picture me back in 2012. You know, Borderlands just came out. The second one just came out. The first one helped me a lot in my personal life. I love the second one, and I have a chance to talk to him. And I have this signed thing I've had on my wall. And then just hearing, year after year something, he says something stupid, and now all this stuff comes out. It's just heartbreaking, man. Like, come on, why can't you just make games? Just make games. Why you gotta do stupid stuff?
Well, we'll see how this lawsuit shakes out. But yeah, with those kind of things, I feel like it's definitely falls on them to prove anything they're saying. So
yeah,
apparently there's a flash drive out there that they will be looking to get, I guess. I don't know. Because the problem is then you see other people on Twitter coming out and saying, oh, it's true. And it's like, that's
BS. The people that are doing that.
That stuff
that guy backtracked though, didn't he? He said, "Oh, it's all true." Then he was like, "Oh, child porn. I'm not sure about, but being a con man, being a piece of shit,
the claptrap
check marks too."
Yeah,
but that's why you don't. I mean,
he shouldn't have just put out a vague statement of like, "Yup, it's true." Like, why didn't you elaborate on? Why did it take a day?
Yeah,
that's not fair. That's not fair to him, and that's the problem we have. It's like guilty till proven innocent instead of innocent till proven guilty.
No, regardless of like, I totally believe in the system. Like, obviously, like I'm not gonna. That's why when I even made that video, I said potentially. Like it's 100% not proven on one of the things, but the other stuff is pretty well documented. And it still sucks because it's scummy, and now it kind of shows a lot of the business practice of a company that I thought I really enjoyed, even though like the majority of their other games that aren't Borderlands are bad. Like, dude, I even talked to Randy on the phone that day when that guy came in with all this stuff. Like, this man was like so dope to me, and that's why I guess it meant so much. And just, I don't know, it's just one of those things, It's just one of those things.
Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, or talk to them on the phone.
You didn't even meet him there. You just read about him.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on the law. I mean, there's gonna be a lot coming out about the lawsuit, so it's especially now after Kotaku wrote that piece up and took that quote from somebody that, I mean, they didn't put in the title, so I'll give them that. But once people started reading it and putting it out on Twitter, that's all that lawsuit became, was that. So we'll see what happens there, if anything. I mean, he's even obviously they're all denying about the $12 million as well, so. We'll see what ends up happening. Evan, do you have Discord questions?
Last one. Since there's so much talk about the possibility of Super Mario Maker coming to the Switch, I guess what kind of enhancements are we thinking should come to it? This guy talks about the possibility of mouse and keyboard support. You just seeing like an overview map and
what's interesting is the Switch supports keyboards already. I know that.
Yeah.
If they did have keyboard, that would actually be good if they did that. I like that idea.
Possibility of uploading a series of levels as like a single thing.
See, are you asking Nintendo to do stuff with online that would make the game like better? Like,
yeah.
I have serious doubts about that, but I would like to see them really lean into the online. That would be really cool with like Mario Maker.
Hills.
Mario Kart Maker win.
Oh, Mario Kart Maker, that'd be interesting.
Still waiting.
I mean, I feel like they could do some stuff, just add basically more of what they already have. Essentially, I think people would even be happy with like a port of Mario Maker at this point. Just move it over, but I would like to see them really lean into the online a bit and just really add a lot of functionality to the online when it comes to sharing and, like you're saying, series of levels and profiles that you set up. Because they kind of had it where you could set like your favorite creator, I thought, in that. I'm trying to remember if they had that or not. But if they just add more and more to the online, I think it'd be better. I mean, can you add anything extra with content? I mean, Mario 2, I guess, right? You could do Hills.
It's important. It completely transformed the game.
Yeah. Well, like the hills, like, are you talking about the hills when you make like invisible parts inside of them too and everything?
Yeah, everything. You need hills. I need to be able to slide down the hill on Mario's ass.
That is a serious part, actually. You're right. That is a serious part of I honestly at this point people would just be happy with a port, but I would like to believe that the reason they have not ported it over yet is because Mario Maker 2 is real and it's coming, but we'll see. Let me go down some of these super chats before we finish up with. We'll talk a bit about Nintendo Online NES games, then the Dragon's Dogma bit, because Evan was actually pretty excited about Dragon's Dogma getting announced. At least interested, I should say that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Omega says, "What do you think of the rumored FF7 showcase in April?" The rumored Final Fantasy VII showcase apparently in April.
I don't know anything about
The
it.
sound of clicking keys.
I was gonna say, is everyone like, wait, Final Fantasy VII
What?
remake?
Sounds like someone tweeted it out at one point, and now it's just a rumor.
Okay. I would like to think that they would be ready to actually show, an image of the game. Anything. I'd like to believe that they're ready to show the game. We heard about this game in 2015, I believe, and then we even saw some gameplay then, but then they scrapped it, and the company that was helping them messed it up, and I feel like they restarted. I'm gonna be honest. I think they restarted the game. Like I think they just scrapped it and they moved on to something new, and they're changing it again. So that footage we saw of the gameplay, that might be some crazy game we'll never see released because it's part of their development. But if they're not ready to show it this year, there's a problem. It's not a PS4 game then. If they're not ready to show it this year, it's a PlayStation 5 game. That's the way it is. Even if they do show it this year, like, are they releasing it this year or are they releasing it in 2020? Because at that point, we're all going to be talking about the PlayStation 5.
I have no faith that there's Final Fantasy VII coming out this year.
My other question is it still a episodic thing, or are they scrapping that idea too?
I hope they scrap that.
There's so many issues with this so far that I could go on forever. So I'm gonna try to contain myself. But
yeah.
they need to make sure that it's not this episodic splitting up of the game into 3 different parts. Like that needs to not be a thing. I'm hoping they don't, because they said it's gonna be like, oh well, like Lightning Returns, and I'm like, please no, like not like Lightning Returns and Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. Please don't do that, because we already know the story of Final Fantasy 7, and they split it up into 3. That's gonna be dumb, literally waiting for that. So I'm really hoping that they don't do that. I hope that we just get the full game, and I think it's going to be a PS5 game. I don't think it's going to come. I mean, it might be a dual release on PS4 too, but I think it's also going to be PS5 as well.
Yeah, honestly, if it's not like, just hold it for the PS5. I think that's fine. That's fine. If it's gonna even make the game better and run better and look better, yeah, sure, save it for the PS5. 20, that'd be crazy. That means it'd be, wow. What if it didn't come out to 2021? It's a 7-year development.
You know, one of the things that I've realized with this is that usually when a game is in trouble and they don't show anything, or if they're not showing anything on a game, it's because the game is in trouble. Or because the game, there's something drastic going on with the game. We've seen it, especially from Japanese companies over the years. I mean, remember Tokyo Mirage Sessions and how they just didn't talk about it forever, and it's huge changes. Same thing goes for Final Fantasy 15. Huge changes over the course of when they first showed it to at this point. So when people say, "Oh, well, they're just working on it," I don't think so. I definitely think there's something wrong with the game at this point if they're just not showing it, because the games that they do release, like Lightning Returns and all those games, they just showed them. Like 13 Lightning Returns, 10-2, or 13-2. They had no problem showing off the game and saying this is what you can do and giving us updates and trailers. And with this game, nothing. So
yeah.
What do you think the problem is?
I think the problem is it's Final Fantasy VII. Like there is a serious there's a legacy that goes along with this game. They cannot mess it up. Like as they've already, I mean, they can't show it and it not be good. That's the problem right now. Like it has to be good. It's Final Fantasy VII. This is something that
has to be the best graphics I've ever seen.
Dude, the fan base, man, you don't want to mess with them. They've been waiting. So
yeah, but you also have to go into it knowing you're going to piss off at least half of them.
That's the problem. There's parts in the story I don't know how they're going to actually make it work. There's some weird things in that story that got away with it because of the PS1 graphics at times, whether it's Cloud beating up Aerith in the crater, or there was this weird scene where Sephiroth stabbed the guy. And I'm not even kidding. You can look it up. It is a serious thing that was argued forever back in the GameFAQs arguments on the PS1 board back in the day, where people were trying to figure out how he jumped off of the guy's sword. Did he push him off of the sword? Did Sephiroth throw him off this? It's a whole thing. Is the guy still alive? And they got away with it because of the PS1 visuals. That game is actually, if you took that game and you make it like PlayStation 5 graphics, it's actually a pretty violent game too.
Well, even the sequence with the wrestlers, like Cloud, are you going to have the guy take a wig out of his jockstrap?
Is he going to
Yeah.
be? Are they going to have Cloud
yeah.
like cross-dress in the game as well?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Like, do you see all these question marks? You know that they're, but you know that they're mulling them over in the background. Like, are we going to do it this way? Or are we just going to skip that? Or like, I feel like there's a lot of questions that are going on back there. Like, I feel like these are the same questions that Nintendo may have asked at one point with Mother 3, for example. You know, like, can we get away with that, or do we just pretend it doesn't exist? Or so I don't know. And if they pretend it doesn't exist, man, those fans are gonna, oof, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Let me go to the next question here. Bungie should do a new Sin and Punishment. That's from Jason. I forgot about Sin and Punishment.
I don't know if that's their style. I think that's kind of small scale for them, right? For Bungie.
Yeah. I want to see him do something new.
Yeah, I would like to see them just actually, because they've been given the money to a new IP. It'd be cool if they did something from a company anyway, like Microsoft brought them in for a Halo project or something, sure.
Please.
But otherwise, yeah, them doing their own IP would be cool. Virel says, give Bungie Buck Bumble. All right, there we go. On our way to that's a 10 million seller right there.
Yeah, OJ's first in line.
No, I'll be the first person there. Stream it.
Ethan R says, hi, Evan. Remember me, Harry Plopper?
Eh.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he popped into my Twitch once. I made fun of his name.
Okay. Jimmy says, will the Switch ever get trophies like PlayStation 4? You know, I don't know, because
No.
I see the value in trophies and achievements. I was an achievement hunter back in the old days of 360, but I fell out of it, and I don't care as much about it. But
The
I don't know.
only way it happens is if Nintendo is able to put their own unique spin on it, where I would think it'd be like, oh, you unlocked whatever type of, you jumped 12 million times in New Super Mario Brothers U. You got this achievement and it unlocks, 2 gold coins you can use on the eShop.
Okay, so you think they could tie currency to the because Sony
they
tried to
do.
do that. Sony tried to do that and they canceled it.
Well, they do have that, like for like their mobile games, they have that like through My Nintendo.
Yeah.
So if they can only try to, that's the only way that I can. I see what Nate's saying. That's the only way they integrate it that way. But at this point, I don't think it's going to work. Like if they haven't done it at this point, they obviously don't care.
Just Hera is asking. Let me go here. Just finished Goblin Slayer anime recommendations.
I told him Dororo, which just started dropping. I think it's only one episode in.
Roro. Okay. I don't know if anyone else any anime.
My
Just watch
Hero.
Death
Have you heard
Note
of My
again.
Hero? My Hero one's My Hero's a good anime.
Just don't stop ever watching Death Note.
Just
My
keep
Hero
it on
Death
repeat.
Yeah.
Never leave your room.
Yeah.
Don't eat. Don't sleep.
It's on Blu-ray. It's the highest quality it's at. You just stay there. You're,
And Yu Hakusho. That's an old
Oh,
school
okay,
anime.
yeah,
but that is
that's fair.
amazing.
You want an old school one to go watch? If you really want to go back in time, go watch Ronin Warriors. If you're a bit younger, go watch that.
or Rurouni Kenshin too. That's also
Ooh,
old school.
Samurai X, Roni Kenshin. That's my
that
boy.
was
I mean,
good.
if you're
Yeah.
getting into the old stuff, might as well get into some of the good stuff too. You get Paranoia Agent and all that. It's good stuff, man.
Watch Vampire Hunter D.
Ooh.
Yes, Vampire Hunter D is very
Second
good.
movie for that was incredible.
Oh, Bloodlust. Bloodlust is awesome.
Wag says Nate needs a webcam with an exclamation point.
I have a
He gave me
webcam.
$9.25 for it.
He just doesn't
Yeah,
want to turn the
9.25.
lights on.
Well, okay, Nate, let me ask you this: when's that? One of those discussion pieces showing up? Because people have been asking, around the water cooler there, Nate. When you gonna start doing some discussion stuff? People are curious. People are wondering over here.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, it wins.
Yeah.
And now he's got-
The Kratos.
The Kratos mask on though.
There. See, I have a webcam.
What's it like not being able to jump?
It's annoying. I try to play basketball and everyone does it.
Nate's actually real. You know what the craziest conspiracy theory was? Somebody said that you were like part of the Patriot system that I heard of. Like Metal Gear Solid.
All right.
I'm Ocelot.
No, Nate, we need to get you a some of your discussion pieces out there, because you had one that's
from a year ago.
it's unlisted on your channel for whatever reason, but you have one, right? And it's because then you posted up on your Twitter, right?
Yeah, because it was like a year old, and it was just a topic of the pro was going around about the Switch. So I was like, hey, I talked about this a year ago. It's kind of funny because it's still relevant.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So like that one, you should make that one public and see what people think, man. There you go. Put that out there, man. Put that out there. Yeah, I think people are interested in what you say about current events and topics and stuff. So
yeah, I was waiting for like a direct, and
well, there's none coming, man. January's over, okay? So
January over. It's the first January ever. 12 days.
12 days, man. We're into February now. We gotta start thinking here. No, that'll be good though. So you'll have some stuff to talk about soon. Then that's good. I mean, January's over. Steve says right about now it's time to rock with Biggity Bump. Oh, Paranoid Ancient is basically creepy. That's for OJ there. OJ, you do like the you do the dance.
To read it. You're like, what about now it's time? Oh, damn it.
Oh man, that's OJ. That's a meme at this point on OJ's channel. Tied into the Buck Bumble, man.
Forever.
Make a shirt, man. That'd be perfect.
No,
Buck Bumble shirt.
I don't want to encourage it. We pretty much.
I'll just make you a shirt. It'll happen.
I don't want to encourage the Buck Bumble stuff, dude. Like, so bad. People started donating for it all the time for song requests. I was like, okay, you got to donate $15 or up if you want Buck Bumbles. And then people started donating $15 and up. And I'm like, okay, just screw it. Like, no more back-to-back donations for this song. Like, anything I do to get rid of it, people just beat it. So it's just like,
Matthew Hammond says, what about a Nintendo Maker with multiple characters? So like, I guess kind of like Smash Bros, but with Mario Maker instead of Smash, like just all the characters in there.
I would like that.
I mean, they had a ton of characters in it. You just had to pick up the power-ups for them, right?
They had that one game. It was like a Flash game where you could play through the Mario levels with Samus and all different kinds of characters. And if it's something similar to that, that would actually be pretty cool because that was actually a really neat game. I wonder if they could do that. Yeah, I would like that. That would be cool. What would they call it though?
Super Smash Brothers platform.
There's actually a space there.
Super Platform Brothers.
You gotta put the U in there for no reason at all. It's on the Switch, but you gotta put the U in there.
U Deluxe.
How did the U stay in there? Did anyone ever figure this out?
No.
Because they didn't want to make a whole new logo.
I think they put it in there so people didn't get confused and say it's like false marketing. You're trying to say that this isn't the same game. I honestly think that's the reason why they kept it in there. Yeah.
Because it says new, right? Because it says new Super Mario. I guess they can't do that without the. Oh man, that is weird sometimes. Putting the U in there. I remember when we had that rumor, and I was like, "There's no way they can leave the U in there. It's not on the Wii U." And then they announced it, and the U's in the logo. I'm like, what happened here?
I can't wait for when they port Super Smash Bros. For Switch or for the Wii U onto the Switch, and they keep it for Wii U version.
Oh man. Yeah, that was yeah. And then. Last K19 Kirby Maker. I'd be okay with Kirby. But that's the thing, if we have like a whole like all the different characters in Nintendo worlds are all together, Kirby would be in there. There you go.
Ultimate Nintendo Maker.
And then,
I'm still holding out for the hope that'll never happen. The Zelda Dungeon Maker, where you just click endless dungeon and just keeps going down floors.
I feel like that'd be a really complicated creation thing to make, is like so you could build all these different Zelda dungeons. That'd be crazy.
Zelda Mystery Dungeon.
That would be great though. That'd be amazing.
That sounds like a good 3DS.
Think about just unlimited Zelda dungeons. That'd be amazing.
It never ends.
Beat 'em ups is in the chat, Sean. There you go. I remember when the Wii U launched and all those titles starting coming out. My friends were like, "What will they do with the sequel? Zombie U2 sounds like an Undead Bono album." Yeah, if they bring over Zombie U, those leave the U in there. Zombie U.
Well, no, they did that. They made it Zombie.
Yeah, Zombie without an E.
Yeah.
They'll put the U back in and bring it to the Switch.
They would.
It'll be the special edition. Oh man. Let me Dragon's Dogma, Evan, on the Switch. You played it on the PC?
I played it heavily on the PC. I think when it dropped, I didn't know it was coming out on PC at the time. I just saw it pop up on Steam, immediately bought it. This is fun as hell game, and hopefully it runs well on the Switch. I know we were trying to see if we could get a copy to test, but still haven't yet.
Look into that. We'll see how Capcom's feeling about us that day.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, especially the whole. I mean, even though technically it's fine, the online not needing to be paid for, but the online's technically just you have sort of a summoned Pokemon assistant version, and then you just put it onto an online server, and then people can use it. So it's kind of, but not really.
Yeah, it's oh yeah, we invite beat him up sometimes. He has a life though, so we struggle with that.
Yeah, I don't. So I just get the message. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Tell you what, we'll invite beat 'em ups to the. Here's what we'll do. We'll invite beat 'em ups to the week after the direct is revealed. Okay, whenever that happens, if a direct is revealed. Yes,
I mean, one will eventually happen this year.
Yes, there you go. The next direct that takes place that we are not saying is absolutely happening. You know what? All right, yeah, whatever. Next time a direct happens, we'll get Wood on here, okay? We'll get him the weekend after the direct happens. So if it happens on Thursday, we'll get him there Saturday, okay?
The next Nintendo tweet is about how they'll never do directs again. It's just like,
They canceled them.
Yes.
We don't like the direct format. We'll just tweet it out. Follow us.
We'll get Wood on there that night. So how about we do that? That way we'll have a bunch of stuff going on and everything, so we good. So we had Dragon's Dogma. Evan's very familiar with the game, so we'll get a copy and Evan can kind of talk about it. Interesting game to have as a handheld game, Evan. When I looked at that, and because I played it too, I have it on PC and I played it. I'm like, that's an interesting game to have as a. I mean, we had Skyrim, but like Dragon's Dogma is another one kind of in that realm of. Oh, it's a portable game. Okay, that's
I'm just hoping it plays to the standard that I enjoyed on PC, at least in frame rate. I mean, the textures weren't incredible, but like there's still that level of wanting it to be visually good just because of how crazy some of those spells were in the game and how some of the effects actually happened, the size of some of the enemies. I'm hoping it works.
And then we had NES games. We had Zelda 2 and Blaster Master.
Yeah.
The silence makes sense. Okay.
I just thought I was making fun of like that announcement. It's like, I know you guys have been paying. We're finally going to add some games. Are you ready? Zelda 2 and Blaster Master. Like, wow, this is the value. It's just incredible here.
Especially when there's a better version of Blaster Master.
Exactly.
Yep. That one got me.
Remember that app is on my Switch. So
yeah, what's weird is, I mean, in Japan they get 3. Right? They got the Joy-Mech fight, and that was called.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, why they only announced? They've had 3 games every single month,
or more. There'll probably be an SP version or something.
Yeah,
which doesn't count. But
no, but like, why 2? Is it? Are they saving one?
They're running out of library, man. We've already had so many awesome games.
But like you know, Mega Man. I mean, you know, they could.
Yeah, well, they got to
grab one of those
for that.
They could grab one of those. I mean, they could, take the original Earthbound, Earthbound 0, and just kind of drop it on there. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking too much. I'm trying to be too pro consumer there. Let's just do Zelda 2. Yeah, throw Zelda 2 on there. I don't know. It's weird. Like, there's a lot of games they could pull from, but they pull those. Like Blaster Master's a weird one because they have Blaster Master 0, and like I have that game, and it is a better game. So I don't know. I don't know why there's only 2.
I hate Zelda 2.
A lot of people do.
A lot of people do because they made you buy Nintendo Powers back in the day to beat the thing.
I can't stand. I really hate that game.
I went back and played it a few years ago, and I was like, it's better than I remember, but it's still not great. And then I watched other people play. Like I watched the Game Grumps play through it, and I was like, okay, he has more experience with it. So I get why he's enjoying it more, but
that made me hate the game more when I watched it.
Oh man, I think ProJair did a video on it too, if I remember right. And I watched that and I said, okay, yeah. It could have been better. Not a great month. I feel like they have. I feel like there's another. I don't know. It feels like there should be another game that they would announce, but
did I tell you guys that game ruined my childhood? One of the parts of my weekend. Zelda 2 when I was
you don't like this game, man.
I saved up for back then. Allowance was like 25 cents a week, my man, and I saved up to rent that game, and it really upset me when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, I spent one of my weekend rentals on Mario is Missing. I spent an entire weekend off from school learning.
That was an educational weekend for you, man.
Yes, I did not like that.
What else was missing that weekend? Fun.
I rented that game instead of Chrono Trigger that weekend.
I just would rent the same game every weekend. I would rent Joe and Mac.
I would usually rent Mega Man X, X2, or X3.
It was
That was
both
it.
chameleon twists for me, just 1 and 2 every weekend.
Mm.
Don't know why.
I did rent Mario RPG one weekend, and I had to take it back, and I'd like hope somebody didn't erase it, for the next weekend. It worked but for 3 weekends straight, I got it back, and my save was on there, so I did end up beating it. But you did run into those occasionally where you had to give it back, and you're like, I really hope it's there next weekend.
Really hope the save is there.
I mean, you're
Or it's the
sitting in
same
there,
one.
you're sitting in there in the classroom, and you're like, I really hope that's the same Chrono Trigger I go back and get next weekend. But yeah. Universal Studios. Oh man, that was the GameCube game, wasn't it? Universal, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's right. Yeah, everyone has that one bad rental. I guess that's it for the SpawnCast this week. It was a fun week. We were kind of hoping that there was some kind of event happening, but at least next week, and we'll have the Mortal Kombat 11 reveal, maybe a Nintendo event. We'll see. And I'm sure we'll see some other stuff happen. We do have some games coming out as well. Ace Combat 7. Travis Strikes Again.
Yes.
Both out. I'll be getting Ace Combat 7 as well. Check that out in VR just to see what that's like. Although there's only like 4 missions, I think. But I'll be getting it. So why don't we go around here? Sean, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on RGT85. I hurt my back today, so I'm about to go take a bath and just sit in there for a while. But once that's over with, I'm going to beat New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe Fuck Edition and then make a video on that tomorrow. And then I have no idea what I'm doing the rest of the week.
My Slim PS2 from GameStop came in, so I got to check that thing out.
Nice.
I ordered a 64 controller from them, by the way. I want to see what their analog stick is like when they send it to you. OJ, where can they find you, man?
Yeah, just right here on YouTube. Announcing that we're giving away another copy of Super Smash Brothers. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing some more discussion pieces. I did one on Xenoblade. So if you're a big Xenoblade fan, you like Japanese RPGs, action games, stuff like that, check out the channel. And yeah. So thanks for having me on, of course.
Yes, and then people are asking for a Spawn raid. Do you guys have anyone in mind that we could raid? Anyone to know? While we go around here, take your time. Take your time, guys. Yeah. Take your time, guys. And then Nate, who's hit his 10,000 subscriber mark, so he's waiting for something to do a discussion piece on.
He just had his mini face reveal this episode.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I did reveal I am indeed Kratos.
Yeah, we're making progress with Nate. All right, so
maybe episode 100.
Ooh.
Nintendo Prime is streaming.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. What about Nate? Where can they find you, man?
They can find me on Twitter at DirectFeedGames. There's a link to my YouTube profile in there. And right now I have a couple of comparisons of Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. One Switch versus the 360 original, and another one that compares the PS4 version to the Switch version with handheld and docked footage. So if you want to see how that game stacks up to the PS4, you can find it there.
Jeremy says you got to get a Buck Bumble tattoo, OJ.
A $2 Buck Bumble tattoo.
And then Jeff with $9.99. No message. Thank you, Jeff. And Modern Vintage Gamer also said raid Smoke Monster as well. What I'll do is I'll Modern Vintage Gamer, I made you a mod, so if you will have the link, you can drop it in there, man. Absolutely, and people can go say hi. Jordan, where can they find you, man? Thanks for joining us on short notice. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You can find me here on YouTube at Jordan Fringe. I have some cool videos I'm working on that are going to be coming out soon. I'm really bad at video games, and I like Spyro. That's me. That's my elevator pitch.
And then Evan is on Twitter. I know that, but he's working on hopefully a look at that interesting Y2K RPG.
Yeah, whenever they get us the code for it.
Yep. So we'll hopefully be checking that out because I am curious to see how that goes after a ton of development. Apparently, now that OJ has said that, it'll be interesting. Then you're also on Twitter, right? And then I see that you have commissions open as well behind you.
Oh yeah, somewhere back there. But yeah, stuff's going up for commissions. I've already finished a couple. Modern Vintage Gamer actually got a slight rebrand from me if you wanted to check out his channel.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, his icon looks pretty cool. Yeah, I see that. Very nice. Okay, that's going to do it here for tonight. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, where hopefully we have a bit more to talk about in terms of Nintendo events and Mortal Kombat 11, definitely. Cool. So we'll see you guys then.